Good morning. Good morning. Guys, it's a beautiful day. It is Friday, almost the end of the week. And oil is down a little bit. It's under $90 for at least right now. It's under 90 just for right now. We'll see if that ends up holding. Let me fix my camera here. But we are here today. It's a beautiful day. Oil at $89.88 for WTI crude. Gold is actually slightly green on the day. Intel reported last night, and they did pretty well. They did not hold most of their gains, though. They went all the way up to 113s, and now they have fallen all the way down to 104s this morning. 104s. So a couple things to talk about. The first one is that some of this has to do with oil. Some of this has to do with tariffs. But the Kospi did have sidecars activated on tech selling. It dropped like 5 to 6%, I believe. The Nikkei is below 65,000. This is mostly reactions to higher oil pressure, geopolitical tensions, and Google, Tesla sell-off that we've seen on Thursday. But the NASDAQ is still red on the day if we take a look at it here. Look at the NASDAQ. Here's Intel, first of all. Intel went all the way up to 113s. And then basically faded back down here. And so it's still at 104s. It's still technically green from their earnings, but Intel did report yesterday. Quarter two exceeded expectations. They issued stronger guidance. They said AI-driven demand for server processors are cited as the driver. The stock did rip it after hours. This is an AI Capex read-through, and it's up a little bit at least. It's holding some gains. Gold is up to 4,062, but look at oil. So oil has pulled back a little bit. And the president did say he's on the cusp of making a big decision regarding Iran and more strikes and everything else. I think this is the 13th night of continuous strikes. And Amex actually just reported earnings. So here's Amex's earnings. I'll put those up in the chat. But good morning, guys. We're here today. It's Friday. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Let's say hello to everybody here. What's up, Arcane? What's up, Ava, Tree, Zeke, Steve, Old Hack, 500, Rooftop, Brian, Womble, Pelican, Darkage, Ashun, Lee, Nick, Brad, Bro, Raga, Killing Frenzy, G-Man, Brad, Liberty, My Dad's Account, Vic, AI, Knights, DW, Sandy, Lucas, Pelican, Anthony. He said, good morning, all. The call went out last night on Intel. Stop going north. We're bringing this down just like... Yeah, I don't know. It pulled back a little bit. Not a crazy amount. Yeah, silver rebounded nicely. Yeah, silver. If we put up silver here. Silver's up to 58.60. So silver and gold back up a little bit. What's up, Brandon Brants? What's up, Gorilla? Good morning. Free Solo. Hey, what's up, dude? Alex. You should get a 4K camera. I want to see your nose hairs. Bro, you might be able to see them now. What's up, Edson? What's up, Nick? Slumdog. Sutter. What's up, Raven? What's up, Ash? Space. Do. Falcos. Renewal. Visual. Good morning, guys. Metals are up because of the China idea, yeah. No, for sure. Look at silver. Silver's up to almost 60 again. Gold is elevated as well. And the president's new 12.5% rate tariffs on trading partners from China to Australia to Egypt. Other economies include the European Union, Indonesia, and Mexico. They're going to receive a 10% rate. They're also going to provide a series of exemption for goods in transit, as well as goods subject to other trade agreements. But yeah, tariffs are one of the big stories today. Trump's trade office said in a fact sheet yesterday that the tariff order will apply to 60 of the top U.S. trade partners and cover 99.4% of U.S. imports. Specifically, these duties are going to be imposed under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974 and are coming into force at the end of months-long investigation focusing on the issue of labor. But I think oil is not going to be included. But yeah, the Trump administration has imposed the replacement for the 10% global tariffs that expired on midnight on Thursday. The new tariffs, which Trump's team hope will be permanent, went into effect at 12:01 p.m. today, levying rates of 10 to 12.5% on top trading partners. They said, quote, "We are implementing this at the moment. We really need to avoid complexity. We are implementing this at the moment really to avoid complexity," said one of the officials. Yeah, so new 12.5% rate on partners from China to Australia to Egypt, according to the formal register notice. But again, they're excluding oil. So it says goods already subject to separate national security tariffs, steel and aluminum specifically, will not see a doubling of tariffs. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement will remain largely tariff-free, and specific goods will also be exempted under these new duties to avoid economic turmoil. Those are things like oil and natural gas, as well as smaller ticket items that aren't produced in the United States. But yeah, one of the big stories is the China metals story. A big China policy change today. So effective today, major Chinese banks halting retail purchases of precious metals on margin. The banks include ICBC, Postal Savings Bank of China, and more. So retail trading there must now be backed by physical delivery. So it's not a full ban, but a shift from paper to physical is what we're seeing here. And Sam talked about this a little bit earlier in the week. What it actually does, it says retail investors can no longer buy paper or leverage gold contracts through these banks. They must take actual physical delivery if they want exposure. It reduces the synthetic paper demands in China, forces retail to purchase physical. They said they're doing this to reduce speculation in retail, protect retail investors, and align with their physical accumulation strategy. But now the story here is like, China versus Western premium could widen. Again, gold, silver, both up. Silver's up. And so we'll see what happens. But, yeah.
Yes, we will. Good morning, everybody.
Britt is here. Guys,
yep.
Sorry. Go ahead and speak.
I did. I said good morning. How's everybody doing?
Did you speak? I guess that is a speak. Another 10 to 12% inflation. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get maybe a little bit from it. We can look at yields and the impact of the tariffs and all that stuff on yields right now. If we look at 2-year treasury yields, I mean, oil's down a little bit. It's not, yesterday when we looked at it, it was at like $92 a barrel or more. Today it is at 89, so it's doing a little bit better. If we look at yields this morning, they are down slightly, not a huge amount for, this morning. They are down slightly. We do have flash manufacturing PMI today, but you can see yields did dip a very small amount today. Like you can see they're down some. 2-year treasury yields at 4.33.5%. We can look at 10-year yields here as well. 10-year yields are at 4.683%. If we look at what they've done today, they're down a little bit also. So yields have fallen. We still have rate hike odds for next week. Remember, next week is the FOMC decision. Still at 33, basically 34% chance that we are going to raise rates next week. We'll see what happens, but that is one of the big stories right now. I'm definitely not telling people to short oil. I have no idea if you should or not. What's up, Kaltenberg, Chan, Raven, Max, Alien? Gold is listed at 44 an ounce on USA balance sheet since the 70s. Well, it's definitely not at 44 an ounce right now. I would buy it at 44 an ounce. So gold, I mean, sign me up, dude.
All right, just a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah. What's up, Broseph? What's up, Max? How you doing, dude? Britt the Hat Man hurt, forcing them to get what is likely fake metal. This will turn out well. Hey, what's up, Christian? I would pump the price of steel and aluminum to say the pump prices. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a Friday today, guys. It will affect gold. What will affect gold? Do we raise rates next meeting, guys? It's a question. Are we raising rates next meeting? What's up, AT? What's up, Ricky G? That rhymed. But we're here today, guys. We'll see what we get. It's an interesting day for sure. Oh, the PMI. I mean, maybe it affects gold. It's manufacturing, but it might affect markets. PMI data doesn't usually affect it heavily. Flash PMI, maybe right now. Remember, this is the Flash PMI release, so it's just manufacturing data is what it is. It drops at 9:45, so 15 minutes after the opening bell. We also have services PMI that drops around the same time, but yeah, we also have new home sales at 10 a.m. and yeah, we'll see what we trade today, guys. I'm excited to see what happens in markets today. It's a little bit, I'm not going to say it's quiet. Look at the NASDAQ. I mean, the NASDAQ is at under 29,000. 29,000 is way up here on the NASDAQ here. Here's 29K. If we look at like the S&P 500, you know, here's the ES. S&P 500 is technically green on the day when the NASDAQ is red, right? So the S&P 500 is still holding up fairly well. Again, the Kospi dropped like 5% overnight or more. But MU, it's still slightly red. It's at 970s, but it's not at the, you know, MU was at 800s, you know, last Friday. So last Friday, MU was at 800s. This week is back up. So we have had a rebound in memory this week. There's MU. You can take a look at SK Hynix as well. Remember, the Kospi did drop overnight. SK Hynix is down, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's holding fairly well. SpaceX is a freaking dumpster fire. Hit 110s yesterday. It's back up to 117s today. So SpaceX is trying to hold. But yeah. If oil can stay just below 90, I can get some sleep tonight. Hey, we'll see, bro. Are you short or long oil, Max? Renewal man. Why so much gold talk? I mean, gold's because it's one of the things that everybody's watching. I mean, China, you know, limited more paper gold. And so kind of supply and demand and worries there for gold, but gold is up. Short oil, bro. Are you still short oil from earlier? Too short? Is that a rapper reference? It's gotta be. It's gotta be. But yeah, guys, look. We're gonna see what we can do today. We did have some earnings this morning. All right, so we had Amex. Amex posted 453 versus 440 expected revenue of 19.6. They expected 19.69, so they missed revenue. Affirmed guidance. Here's Amex right here, and they are down. I mean, again, they missed revenue and affirmed guidance, so they're down slightly on Amex. We also had Verizon post. Verizon missed revenue as well. EPS was 130, basically came in flat for EPS. And this is why it's weird. Like, they came in flat for EPS, missed revenue, still up slightly from their earnings report. So, also Bank of America. So we have some bank stuff. Bank of America is doing, they're going to buy back shares for $40 billion. And so they're up a little bit here, but let's see what ends up happening. Oil, puts on oil and calls. Does anybody want to buy oil short on SpaceX from 125, boys? Hey, good luck, dude. Intel goes up after the bell. Intel, man, I'm surprised it's not up more. You know, but again, it's pulling back. It went up to 113s. You know, a lot of these earnings, like, we have not had very good reactions in earnings this earnings season. And the worry here, guys, is that next week we have, what do we have next week? We got like Microsoft, Meta, and more earnings coming out. So next week we have more big tech releasing earnings, and the reactions that we've seen from this earnings release so far this week have not been good. We have not had good reactions generally for tech earnings this week, and so people are worried that that's going to continue. And yeah, again, we'll see. Regarding the Bank of Japan, so there's also some talks about the Bank of Japan. They put out yesterday that they might hike rates a little bit earlier than every 6 months, a little bit sooner than every 6 months. It's a background factor, but yeah, we had news from them. Let me see. So, Bank of Japan officials are considering hiking rates faster than every 6 months. This was reported on the 22nd, actually. But we kind of walked it back a little bit today. Bank of Japan expected to hold next week. So majority favor a steady approach, wants to monitor June's hike impact first, citing geopolitical tensions and inflation risks. They're at no rush to raise rates, they say, and will signal easing inflation risks at the July meeting potentially. So Wednesday sources said they might hike faster. Today they're saying, actually, we're going to hold and take our time. So kind of mixed messaging there from the Bank of Japan. And again, here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ under 29,000. Here's the problem, though. Is that like the lows? Let's look at the lows. The lows of the last, month or two. Really, it's almost 2 months here. Are not that far away from us on the NASDAQ here. So the NASDAQ and tech are still worried. Obviously, earlier this week we had Google, Capex fears. They raised Capex again to what, like 205 billion. They have reacted poorly to earnings for sure. Tesla has as well. Tesla's still down there to like 320s, 315. So Tesla not doing good. Google pulling back some. And again, we're heading into big tech earnings next week. It's not just big tech next week as well. I mean, big tech earnings are one of the catalysts for sure next week. But it's also like big tech earnings, the FOMC decision, GDP and PCE inflation data, and more. And so next week's a very busy week. We got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff in the afternoon as well next week. But yeah, next week we got the rate decision on Wednesday. We've got GDP, jobless claims, and PCE on Thursday. Consumer sentiment on Friday. Big tech earnings. And so a lot of people are worried about that. I don't know what U.S. oil is going to do today. I don't know if you're talking about USO or WTI crude. Both of them are like U.S. oil. But yeah, U.S. oil's down. I mean, at the same time though, like you got to look at it from a longer term perspective. Like it's down a little bit with oil in general today, but it's up a lot over the past 5 days. Like look at U.S. oil over the past 5 days. So it's up a lot. And yeah, amazing how everyone wants to publish news when market's bearish and all of a sudden it pumps before retail can react. Yeah, I mean, it's not pumping up that much though. Just to put it in perspective, like a lot of this is due to oil, like we are up big in oil over the last few days. Obviously, we've gone from 77.90s last Friday to 93s at the peak yesterday. We're back down to basically 90 right now. So this pullback just looks like this here in oil, but we're still elevated here. Like we're still up a lot over the last 5 days. And I think that's what going to the weekend, I think you got to consider some things here. One of the big things you got to consider is, will we have more escalation over the weekend? I think that's obviously a big story. Will we have more escalation over the weekend? In chat, let me know. Do we get more escalation this weekend? Because that's going to influence the price of oil, obviously, here. And if it does, we'll see. But let me do a poll here. What's a good poll for the day, guys? Let me drink some more coffee. Didn't quite sleep that well last night. I woke up once. Ugh. Will we get more escalation over the weekend? They seem to fight on the weekend, so people, yeah.
I think so.
Ugh. I'll do a poll. More escalation over the weekend. We get more geopolitical escalation is what I should say. Will we get more geopolitical escalation over the weekend? Vote on that poll. That poll is now live. And look at oil. Hold on real quick. This might be news. This could be news. Hold on. Look at oil. It definitely could be. Let's see. It might not be though. Let's take a look. Japan's prime minister to consider cabinet reshuffle. I mean, we got a volume spike here. Look at this.
I don't see anything.
I mean, maybe it's not a big move, but it's something. Oil just dipped. It tapped $90 even, and dipped. It's not a huge move, but volume did jump up a little bit just now, and it's not really a time when volume would normally jump up outside of news. So I'm looking, guys. I'm looking, but it might not be. I don't know. It could not be, I guess. Yeah.
Sometimes it never is.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is.
Yeah, there's more attacks on U.S. and Iranian forces in the Gulf. Oil prices have been high this week. President seems obviously frustrated from it. Said the ceasefire and MOU were basically over this week. He did leave the door open though. We did have I did see news earlier that and keep looking for news while I read this, Britt.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I saw news earlier. This was like an hour and a half ago, but it says Iranian diplomat says Iran has not closed the door to diplomacy and messages are still being exchanged through intermediaries. See, what did the Nasdaq do short term? Did it go up? No. So what's weird is like oil jumped like this, or yeah, Nasdaq went up a little bit, but weird. Could just be $90 support level holding. We did have NextEra energy drop about 4 minutes ago, but I don't think that's what this is. Here's NextEra energy. Yeah, there's the news right there. I think because the general opinion is that it's going to escalate, they'll reach some ceasefire and reverse the trend. Hey, maybe. Less news is good news. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about any of that pump. Yeah, it could be somebody just... Again, it was a weird volume spike. Like, look at the volume jump. Right here. In oil, but the move wasn't huge. It was just a like whenever we have a bunch of small candles and then all of a sudden we get some huge candle. Sometimes it's from news. Yeah. I think people were expecting more shit hit the fan today. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, we're at 89%. Yes, more escalation over the weekend. Poll, coffee or energy drink? Coffee, bro. Energy drinks are bad for you, bro.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, I don't know about it for anybody else. They don't work for me anyway.
Yeah, they work for me, but they're just bad for you. Just profit taking. Yeah, I don't see any news either. Could be maybe NextEra, but I don't know. What's NextEra doing? Nah, it's not that. But yeah, oil dipped. What's weird is like the Nasdaq is still starting to fade back down here. And again, the Nasdaq is at a scary level. Just algorithm at the bottom of the hour. Yeah, but it's 7:40 market time right now. That's not generally a time in which we see movement like that. Yeah, so Tuesday, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, and more, I think, right? Let me see, let me make sure. Or no, we already got those. Yeah, we already got all that stuff. We got Applied Digital, PayPal next week, Boeing, Coca-Cola. But yeah, one of the big stories is tariffs today. Yeah, China's gold imports are surging as well. The Mag 7 apparently shed 797 billion on AI fears this week. I mean, some people are saying Tesla shares are bouncing back. Have they? I mean, they're up a little bit today. They're not up that much. I think a lot of people thought markets were bouncing back more earlier this morning. And honestly, when I scheduled the stream yesterday, I thought the market was in trouble. I'm not saying it's not in trouble now, but like, it kind of goes to show how much it can change overnight. We're at 28,623s right now in the NASDAQ. We are right at the volume weighted average price. So let's see if we hold at that point. But, yeah. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Glad I locked in 6% on that 30-year mortgage. I don't know. You think rates are going to go much higher than 6%? Yeah. Insider. Could be insider for sure. Energy drinks. I grew 100 into 2,800 over the last 2 months. I took everything out last night. I truly believe the crash is here. Hey, good luck, dude. Be careful, you know. The thing about markets, though, is that if everybody thinks we're going to crash, sometimes we don't, you know. And if everybody is super euphoric and optimistic, sometimes we do crash, right? And so the question you have to ask yourself is, what happened historically? Now, we started to see the writing on the wall in 2007, 2008, but even still, like, leading into a lot of it was still pretty euphoric, so it just depends. Again, we'll see what flash manufacturing PMI does today. I don't know how that's going to affect things, but we'll see. But yeah, Amex, Verizon reported, SLB reported, Bank of America buybacks were announced. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said he's concerned by Beijing's rhetoric towards Japan. We also had more. Apple is reportedly seeking roughly a 20% cut in iPhone 18 OLED panel prices as rising memory chip cost pressure component. Yeah, China also announced today that the decision to place 14 EU entities on the export control list effective immediately, citing the need to safeguard. I'm looking at other stuff, but where's Caterpillar at this morning? The question, like, look, here's MU, right? MU still up on the week, but the Nasdaq's getting really close here to some of these big milestone levels we do not want it to hit. You know, 28,400 is a big level here. Like, look at 28,400. So that's the low from last Friday. That's effectively like the 2-month low in the Nasdaq right here. So, and like, obviously tech is pulling back some, but like on a percentage basis here, again, I did this yesterday, but the Nasdaq is down from what, 30,975 down to, if it hits that low of 28,400, and I can't type today, that's an 8+% pullback in the Nasdaq. So again, if it hits this level here, this is roughly 8% dip on the Nasdaq. If it breaks below that, obviously it's worse, right? And once we start hitting 10%, markets are going to start chirping about a correction. So, and as I say that here, you know, let's see what the Nasdaq does. Again, it is Friday, so, you know, maybe we'll see what the market gives us today. But yeah, SpaceX is a dumpster fire. Yeah, US dollar, Japanese yen pump a lot recently. Service now is down. Do you think the AI bubble is real? I think it could be. Like I've said this once before, I'll say it again. I think it could be. Is it absolutely, you know, could we catch up to valuation? Sure. Could we catch up to, you know, but I said this last week, though. I don't necessarily like the current conditions in markets. Not as much as I normally do. Like, I'm usually pretty, like, bullish. I don't really like the current conditions because I think we have a lot of different things. It's not just one thing going on right now. It's not like we had a lot of tariff fears over the last year and a half that negatively impacted markets, right? Like, we had a lot of tariff fears. We had a lot of stuff like that. The issue now is that it's not just one fear. This is a multitude of different things coming and converging to scare people, right? You got tariffs, number one right now. That's one of the big stories of the day is tariffs. You have overvaluations in AI and tech. You got Michael Burry shorting a bunch of stuff and announcing it. And you know, you have memory being super elevated and having wild swings on the upside. You have earlier this year, gold and silver made some crazy fluctuations. Gold got up to 5,600s. You have geopolitics, and probably one of the biggest drivers scaring people is you have, like, you know, obviously the conflict, high oil prices, high inflation over 3.5% or at 3.5%. Oil almost to $90 a barrel or over $90 a barrel yesterday. You have tech reacting negatively to earnings season. And so I think we got a lot of different catalysts coming in. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to settle. Like, I've been watching markets long enough to understand that, like, hey, sometimes it looks really scary and it's not. It's still scary, but sometimes it looks really scary and, like, market's still fine and it starts running up, breaking all-time highs. But I think we got a lot of different things converging to scare people, essentially. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't necessarily like the market conditions right now. And if you disagree with me, let me know. Let me know what you disagree with in that regard. But yeah, I mean, here's SanDisk right here. So we got SanDisk. SanDisk down to 1560s. MU still down a pretty big amount, but it's back up. It was at $800 a few days ago. So it's effectively up like 25%. Not quite 25%, but it's up 25% from where it was last Friday. So this is what I mean. You can see kind of the wild swings. Here's SK Hynix. So SK Hynix, you can look at MU, you can look at SanDisk, but, you know, obviously SpaceX is dumpster fire. And the stocks to watch today that could drag NASDAQ and everything down more, specifically Tesla, obviously, Google. Google's still down pretty big from its earnings. Oil just jumped up to over 90 here. So oil did just break 90. Still kind of climbing up this morning at 90.08. So, I mean, yeah, there's some stuff to watch, but just no volume. Do you think Elon fans know login 607? Inverse fair value gap? Or LFG. Okay, that's what you mean. Every time I see FG, I'm thinking fair value gap. FVG. I think they're going to go to 100. Oil, I think, I told you guys yesterday, I didn't like oil over 90. I don't think oil over 90 is good. You know, but again, the kind of thing here is like Intel did okay. And so Intel did okay. It's still not really holding. Yeah, so Intel again went up to 113. They did pretty good. I think they raised guidance. But yeah, Intel is not really holding the gains that it made. I mean, it went up to 113. So it kind of dropped on the call. But yeah, Intel creates CPUs for PCs and laptops, processors. Data center and AI group is DCAI, 30% of revenue. Network and edge, Intel Foundry. But yeah, so they beat Q2 expectations, strong guidance as well. So AI driven demand for server processors cited. And so one of the things that does help the argument for is just Capex here, but anybody want to buy Intel? What's Intel done over the last year? I mean, it's up a crazy amount too. It was at 1890s for Intel 12 months ago. It's at 100 today. So it's up a huge percentage also. SpaceX 113. Starship launches today. Bears sound smart. Bulls make money. Yeah, I mean, I'm generally there. People always call me a perma bull because long-term bulls, you know, like people like to predict crashes and it's really easy for people to get wrapped up in like, I'm trying to think of the most delicate way to put this, but crashes are wildly overpredicted in markets. Like wildly overpredicted. And so one of the things that you generally see is that people will just kind of blindly predict crashes. Maybe they disagree with a politician. Maybe they agree with a politician. Maybe they, you know, romanticize the Big Short. And you know, maybe they romanticize making money on the short side. And so they don't really see the risks in shorting things. And every day they want to crash. They want to crash. They want to crash. So yeah, and I did see news about a minute ago that an oil tanker changes its route to pass through the Suez Canal instead of the southern Red Sea due to security issues, according to Torm. After leaving the Suez, the tanker will head to Asia via southern Africa. But yeah. I'm bullish until overwhelming data shows otherwise. I don't necessarily hate it here. Going into Intel at 35, thought a $70 covered call would be safe. Probably will be in the long run. Yeah, NASDAQ is starting to rip back up here, though. Let's see. Or maybe not rip. Rip's probably a strong word for this movement here. Here's the NASDAQ right here. The rip's probably strong, but the NASDAQ's still downward trending, still red on the day. Are y'all long or short today? We did this poll, and look at the disparity on the poll. So far, 81% will we get more geopolitics tension over the weekend. 81% say yes, 19% say no. I work for the largest bank in Canada. We had a huge meeting with all upper management. How are we preparing for a possible imminent crash? I mean, I don't know, dude. Persistent gold selling. I mean, gold's selling off a little bit here. And again, this comes, if you didn't catch the news, I covered on this earlier. This comes after China is restricting paper gold again. So China apparently restricting paper gold. Major Chinese banks are halting retail purchases of precious metals on margin. The banks, again, ICBC, Postal Savings Bank of China, and more. So retail trading now must be backed by specifically physical gold. Not a full ban, but a shift from paper to physical.
What does that mean
So,
to you? Because honestly, I don't really get the implications of that.
okay, so what it means is that retail investors can no longer buy paper or leverage gold contracts through those banks, right? Like they can no longer buy paper gold, like securities, um,
Yeah.
uh, like paper leverage gold contracts is what it is,
Yeah.
right? They must take actual physical delivery if they want exposure to it, and so it reduces synthetic paper demand in Chinese retail, forces real physical purchases for any position. They say they're doing this for regulatory reasons, to reduce speculation in retail and protect investors from leveraged losses. But again, you can see gold on the day. It is up, but it's starting to pull back. The previous closing price on gold futures are 4,052. And so gold was green on the day. It started to dip down here though. Tesla getting crushed. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of derivatives and synthetics, which is really one of the reasons. Like, if you understand what happened in 2007, 2008, we had a lot of, you had all these synthetic assets that were getting floated around in the mortgage market. And so it's one of the reasons the mortgage market was in shambles, as well as kind of propped up for so long, that led to the big correction. And so I think in the near future we'll be kicking ourselves by not buying stocks at these moments. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking in 30 years, it doesn't matter where we are. We're still going to be higher, almost certainly. But right now, who knows? But yeah, if we're looking at it in 30 years, yeah, we're still going to be higher than where we are now, bro. That's just normal.
Yeah, so honestly, that sounds like a sequel to The Big Short, The Big Correction.
Yeah, the big correction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we do it. Again, I did a poll yesterday, and I can't remember what the votes are. I asked people, do we get a crash in the next year? And I can't remember what the outcome was, but oil has jumped back over 90s here. So oil's back over 90s.
Yeah, but John, what was the outcome?
The outcome of what?
Whatever you just said you couldn't remember the outcome of. I wasn't really listening.
I don't know. I can't remember what I said.
I mean, honestly, I do that all the time. Seriously, like I'll say something and someone say, "Well, what'd you say?" And like, just 10 seconds. Like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I forget most of what I say as I say it. To be honest.
Yeah. So I see Pakistan's foreign minister emphasized the importance of de-escalating tensions and expressed concerns over the rising tensions during a meeting with the foreign minister Arachi, according to Mer News. You better hope in 30 years that we're higher than we are today. I mean, yeah, if we look at history of markets, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to, continue. But I had a talk with my son about what extrapolating means, And if you don't know, it's a big word that sounds really smart when you use it. Is how I explained it to him, But it's pretty simple. It basically just means if current trends continue, So.
But did you explain the actual definition?
Here, you're actually breaking up a little bit, Britt. You there?
Uh-oh. Yeah.
There you are. Okay. You're a little like. Does Britt sound like a robot to you guys? Yeah. Extrapolate just means to use
you found me
facts.
out.
There he is. He's a robot. I knew it. But yeah, extrapolate just means to use known facts and past trends to try to predict what happens in the future, or is essentially what it means. And I explained that to him. But the whole point of explaining that to him was to say, hey, like if current trends continue, Yeah.
Let's use current information to try to guess future happenings, basically.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but the Nasdaq has pulled back a little bit. Oil's still up. I'm still watching gold. Gold is.
Or to suss out more complex principles from simpler ones.
Yeah. No, for sure. Brent is extrapolating into his mic. Yeah, oil's right at this $90 level, though. And again, I talked about this level earlier this week. I think $90 is a big milestone area for oil here. We're right there. We're right at 90. Like, right at $90. We want the oil. Yeah. We want oil The timeline is unclear to me. There's no stopping a crash. At this point, the only question is who gets wiped out and who. Yeah, I mean, but look, we know inevitably we're going to crash eventually. Obviously, you know. The real question is not whether we crash sometime in the future, but when. You know, and so people like to predict crashes. Like, yeah, we're gonna crash eventually, but like,
the question is, how can we take advantage of it?
Well, usually you just buy it when everything's cheap.
I'm
not telling you what to do, but like a good example is like this, right? Like, let me use an example. So if you say we're gonna crash here, you know, this is what I see a lot of people get wrong. If you think we're gonna crash there, if you say we're gonna crash here, and then we move up big, and then like let's say we crash here and we drop all the way down to here. The question is, were you correct? I would say no, because we're still over where you predicted the crash at. You know? And so I think, you know, oh, hold on. The NASDAQ just jumped. Hold on. Yeah, some news just dropped, probably. Look at the NASDAQ.
Let's see.
Something just happened. NASDAQ just jumped here. NASDAQ's popping up pretty decently right now.
Pakistan's foreign minister emphasized the importance of de-escalating tensions and expressed concern over the rising tensions during a meeting with Iran's foreign minister Arakchi.
Yeah, look at the NASDAQ jump here, guys. The NASDAQ popping up right now. I'm trying to figure out what this is, but something happened. NASDAQ just something good happened. It seems like de-escalating potentially here. I see the Pakistan foreign minister emphasize the importance of de-escalation. Oil dropped as well, so this is geopolitical something. Building permit data just came out. It showed up at negative 2.6 versus negative 3% expected. I don't think that's doing this. This is some other news. All right, guys, so NASDAQ's jumping up here. Let's wait for the catalyst. This is something. I heard explosions heard in Jask, southern Iran. There's definitely some type of news here. Gold just spiked up as well.
I'm just not seeing anything, at least not yet. I mean, I'm sure something happened, but
I mean, it's got to be a news candle, no? I mean, this has to be one, I'm assuming.
I'm just seeing the same stuff.
Okay, so yeah. No. Software rate. Yeah, that's a big green candle to be no news driven. It could be insider stuff. Let's see. UK Prime Minister Berman is going to stick with city-friendly agenda according to sources. Yeah, but this was before 8 a.m. This happened like 2 minutes ago. So very odd. I would assume it's news. Somebody either knows something, or we're going to get like a news release pretty soon here. I see oil drop simultaneously, so it looks geopolitically related here. Sound of several explosions heard in Jas, southern Iran, according to IRIB, is the only thing that I see here. Let me check truth.
Yeah, I checked that there's nothing new. At least not that I don't see anything.
Yeah. I see the president took a picture with Shohei Ohtani.
I didn't know that's who that was, honestly.
No, dude, Shohei is like the greatest baseball player. He's like the GOAT of baseball. Like
No, I mean, I've heard of him. I've just never seen him.
Like, he throws 100 miles an hour pitch and hits homers and is in like the home run race every year. So
I did hear that about him. I mean, like he actually is from Japan, right? I mean, based on I'm assuming with the name.
Yeah, he is. Either way, I kind of went left field here, but I don't see anything going on right now. The only thing I hear is explosions heard in Jask, southern Iran.
He doesn't play left field. He plays pitcher.
Yeah.
It was a joke, Sean. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, that's the only thing I see is like stuff was heard in Jask, southern Iran.
Okay.
Let's see if we hold here though, dude.
No, the joke was you said I kind of went out of left field with that one, and I said no, he doesn't play left field. He's
okay.
Pitcher.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
it was funny. Don't worry. Just laugh.
I believe it.
There you go. You would have left.
I know. I believe I would have. Yeah, I'm looking at yields. I mean, oil dipped just now. So oil dipped. But what a weird candle here, guys. Like, we popped very high short term, and then we're reversing all the way back down here. So I don't know any reason markets might react positively to, you know, strikes in JASC. But very strange news candle here. The only thing it looks like it is explosions reported in JASC. Yeah, I don't see anything else here. Very strange. Very strange.
Also, this is just kind of a little factoid, but since you were talking about like crashes earlier and future crashes and all that, did you know that during the Depression, after an obvious 1929 crash, I don't remember what year, it was like 1932 or 33, I believe. I might be wrong. Did you know that a quarter of the
hold on real quick. So I see Lebanese President Aoud, sorry bro, said his meeting with U.S. President was productive and that the time has come to end the conflict. That might be what it is. But yeah, weird, dude. Bank of Japan to keep rates unchanged next week at the policy meeting. But interesting. Yeah, it was definitely some type of news catalyst. All right, continue, Britt. My apologies. I mean, that's a weird candle for gold.
Especially since you just hung up on me. It's cool. The only point that I was trying to make, it's not even a point. The fact that I was trying to share before John so rudely interrupted me is just that during the Depression,
can y'all hear Britt?
After the 19... the land in Mississippi, 25% of the land in Mississippi went up for sale in one day. Depression.
Ah, well, that's cool.
Horrible, but it's interesting.
I mean, it's Mississippi, you know.
But the point is, everybody lost everything. I mean, like most of the land in Mississippi, like small individual farmers. It wasn't like a bunch of big operations like it might be now.
Yeah, no, I believe that. Over time, they just take control, you know. Oil has fallen down from some of this, but then kind of went right back up. Sorry, guys, I'm still kind of looking for news, but
I don't know if that's getting any worse or whatever. I have it, dude. It's just the internet available to me, you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
it's better than you. You're gonna ask John. Internet
I'm gonna hang up on Britt because I can't hear anything he's saying. I don't know if y'all can hear him, but I can't hear anything he's saying. But yeah, oil dipped and now it's almost right back up to $90 again. Hey Britt, what's up, dude? Yeah. What's up, Jay? What's up, Sarge? Yeah, he's breaking up. Yeah, he's cutting.
Starting to piss me off, to be honest.
I'm sorry, bro. Listen, it's breaking up. I can't hear it. Hey, shout out to Vincent B for the subscribe, my friend. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Hopefully it clears up, but I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm woefully tech illiterate. I'm in command.
Yeah. It could be Discord. I'll try to get you in another way. Next week we will. But yeah, the Nasdaq went up.
I'm not gonna put up with this.
I know, dude. Listen, it's your fault, bro. I'm just putting it out there. It is your fault. Yeah,
everybody John's mad because I smoked him in Halo last night.
Oh, bro. Listen. I mean, let's just be honest here for a second.
I smoked him. Kicking butt. To be honest, I don't really like playing on Legendary. I know Chris does, but I don't.
Yeah, no cap. Get your employees some decent equipment, John. He's not an employee, bro. He's not an employee. Last time I heard Britt was cutting out, he said something about... All right, guys. Look, I don't know why oil is up right now. Or I don't know why oil dropped so much. I don't really see any news here regarding why it dropped. I don't see any reported news, especially here.
Did you see Hansen?
Oh, yeah. We got some trolls. That's all right.
I'm sorry. No, Hansen's cool. Like, he talks. I thought it was kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, look, guys. The Nasdaq is oil is almost to 90 here. Almost to 90 again. So whatever it was just got bought up. The question is this insider trading somewhere?
Hey,
yeah, Britt, we can't really
am I
hear
still
you.
cutting out for you guys? Kind of.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
So, I mean, I can just try hanging up and coming back. See if that helps.
Yeah, try that. All right, so I'm looking at China Probe CSRC former Vice Chairman Fang on CCTV. But again, apparently the Bank of Japan is going to keep rates paused next meeting. Intel's still down. Intel is under 103s right now, guys. So here's Intel. Oil's about to tap 90 again. Look at oil. Oil's at 89.95 right now. So oil's about to tap $90 a barrel. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with. What's up, dude?
That was a joke. Sorry.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Hear me now?
I can kind of hear you.
I was doing the first. I was doing the whole like like the intentional cutting out. That was a joke.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, it's still.
So I don't know if it's still actually doing that because.
Yeah. Robot brick.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we do have that tropical storm rolling through, so maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, we'll just stay quiet for a little while, and we'll see. We'll see if it comes back.
Hey, I can do that.
Yeah, do that. Do that now.
Right.
Yeah. All right, bye. Yeah, see, the Nasdaq is starting to come right back up though, and what's weird is like, look, here's the NQ. We had this big spike for no known reason, really. Nasdaq's starting to head up. What do you guys want to buy today? What asset do you guys want to buy today? Yeah. Oil, gold, Nasdaq futures all had a huge surge in volume at almost the same time. Yeah, oil, gold, Nasdaq, oil went down real quick. Nasdaq went up. But I think what we're seeing with oil is this $90 level is getting reacted to. So like we saw this a little bit yesterday. Every time oil gets close to 90 here, it might break over for a little bit and then it gets slammed back down. 90. We'll see if it gets pushed back down again. But I asked people what they want to buy today. I see IBM. Do you want to buy software right now? I mean, software did a little bit better during the earnings, but still not doing good. SpaceX, Wi-Fi routers, buy oil now. Refineries, Papa John's, list of things. Buy oil now. What's up, Sam? How you doing, bro? Buy the SPY. Yeah, the SPY's holding fairly well. Gold and silver. Today is a day for selling. Are y'all bullish or bearish today? I didn't really do a poll. I asked people, we get more geopolitical escalation over the weekend. 80% say yes, we will. Oil company calls this ain't a real dip. The conflict is basically full on. Yeah, Google seems pretty cheap to me down here, to be honest. Capex raised, but like aside from that, I still think Google's pretty cheap down here. I said this after the earnings call, and we still dropped a lot after that. But look at that Bitcoin here. We can take a look at it. Here's Bitcoin US dollar. Bitcoin's at 65. It's holding okay. I mean, it was at 66 plus a few days ago. Yeah, we got flash manufacturing and services data at 9:45 and new home sales at 10. So we do have some stuff coming out. McDonald's and Lowe's infrastructure holding 65. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is holding okay. Oil, I don't know. I mean, the question is, do we get more geopolitical tensions or do we get some type of optimism around a deal over the weekend? And I don't think either one of them is I don't think the odds on each are super different. I think we could get either one of them. I mean, obviously, we did a poll earlier. 80% of the chat thinks that we're going to get more escalation, at least in the vote so far. What's up, Sorrel? Yeah, what's up, dude? Again, CL at 89.90s. So we'll see if we hold there. But the Nasdaq is trying here. Again, it looks bearish to me. But I mean, we could also get a reversal. The reason it looks bearish is because we're pretty close to these lows down here. So we're pretty close to 28,400s. So I might actually short this a little bit here. Let's try. I might actually short this some. We'll see. But we are pretty green in this account. Like, just to show you guys the week that we're on here. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty green on this account. We were at almost 60% this week. See any news? Nikkei says it's the possibility that outlook for core CPI growth rate would be downgraded from 2.8% on the year from April. I mean, we got a big bounce. What I'm worried about is that it's insider trading of some sort here. You know, I'm worried somebody knew something, which is always kind of the risk, I guess. I still kind of want to short this. I guess I will. Look, I'm going to short, what, 3 contracts in the NASDAQ. See if we reverse back down here. I think I got to hold this one for a little while, though. I'm going to look for, like, 690 as a risk level. And maybe, like, 650 as a reward target. Keep it about a 1-to-1 ratio there. But I'm going to hold this a little while. Yeah, we're so close to that big level on the low at whatever it is, that level on the NASDAQ. It seems like a short to me. Again, I'm not an investment professional. Don't freaking copy me. But the NASDAQ is at 28,670s. The low of the last few months is at 28,400s. So the problem is, like, if Nvidia keeps jumping here, which it kind of is so far. Nvidia up to 208.80s. Problem is if Nvidia keeps jumping, yeah, look, it's hard to trade based off of news like this, dude. All right, well, we got stuck in a news release of some sort, it looks like here. This is really hard to trade, though. I think it's a news release, maybe not. Either a news release or some big, huge, you know, big green candle randomly. All right, let's check more news. Maybe it's not, but if the market's just jumping up like this, I don't know if it's easy to trade. Maybe it's not news. But, weird. Hey, thank you for the subscribe, ECL. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, oil is dipping down simultaneously, though, which is the weird thing that I'm seeing. Like, I mean, oil just hit 90s again. So again, it's like, as the market rebounds, oil's dipping, which usually means it's geopolitics. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I heard that, but wouldn't that make... I see some people saying, oh, it's got to be the strike news that we're hearing, and we hear that, but wouldn't that make oil go up and NASDAQ move down? Not the opposite. This is oil moving down right at $90 a barrel, and the NASDAQ jumping up simultaneously. So maybe it's not a big enough jump. Yields are moving down as well. Yeah, and it's hard to figure out why. What's very strange is, like, over the past few minutes, we've gotten candles that look like this. Look. So we've gotten these big candles and not really any news to justify it, you know? Like, these are not really small candles. These are larger candles than we've seen in, like, hours prior to that. But, you know, we don't really have any catalyst for them either. Very weird. Fridays are the worst trading days of the week. Oh yeah, that's definitely true. It's earnings season. Yeah. Only one micro. Maybe. Sell the rip. Nah, I'm not gonna sell the rip. I'm seeing, like, memory plays start to rebound. And the Kospi, again, did drop like 5% overnight. Here's memory. So memory may be rebounding back up. That could be partially what the driver is. What's SK Hynix doing? It's at 166. AMD's at 540s. I use TOS and Tradeovate usually. Depends on what I'm doing, whether I'm investing or trading. But yeah, I use a mix of, like, TOS and Tradeovate. At some point, strikes will be good enough to semi-open the straight that oil will go down. Maybe so, yeah. And again, the NASDAQ's still running up. I think this is memory rebounding, though, is what it seems to me now. But The oil correlation doesn't make the most sense, but here's MU. MU up to 985s. This big dumps probably reflects someone who's trying to get out of positions already established, not making new bets. Yeah, I mean, $90 oil makes sense. Today is a day for selling. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I have some algo strategies. MU was the only thing green yesterday because of the Tesla deal. Yeah, so allocation deal, supplying Tesla with memory chips on reasonable terms, locking in capacity for future autonomous driving projects. But yeah, MU up to 985s. Almost. Yeah. Today's fake selling. Buy or sell today, guys? What do you guys think? Buy or sell right now? Let me know. I'm going to end this poll. Poll is a little bit too polarized. We'll do another poll. Buy or sell the market today? Yeah, we'll keep it easy. Buy Micron. Yeah, I mean, Burry's shorting this, but it doesn't mean anything. I mean, it could still obviously go up. I think Burry's short position in this is at 1050s or something like that. Buy Micron, buy, sell, buy gold, sell, maybe fake buying, buy gold, buy. Yeah, the gold news is interesting as well. Gold seemed to bounce some at 40, 50s. If we look at yields right now, you know, here's treasury yields. And again, but I'm still kind of looking at a short, but I'm gonna wait and be a little bit more patient with it. But I'm looking at yields. Yields did jump a little bit, but came right back down. So yields are still down on the day. They've had a wild week though on the upside. So yields have moved a lot this week. I see U.S. seeks to unlock frozen Venezuela assets for earthquake aid. All right, so Jim Cramer is speaking right now. Jim Cramer says, last word on Intel, fear of equity offerings hanging over it. They don't need to do one, and they have many who want to give them money for foundry output. Very different case from a hyperscaler. So maybe, I mean, Intel's doing okay. It did good guidance, but yeah, look at memory start to bounce back here. Look, here's MU. It's at 986. Let's see if we hold. Let's see if we hold. Be like water. Bruce Lee. Fear day. Buy Snow. Free money. Or buy ServiceNow. Yeah, I mean, ServiceNow did better on its earnings report. But again, in the wake of the software fears, do you guys like buying software here? I see the poll showing 60% buys. But do you guys like software right now? Is software on the buy agenda? Kramer cursed. Yeah, I mean, Kramer likes Intel. Maybe that's why Intel didn't hold. Honestly, I found myself agreeing with Kramer after Google earnings. As bad as I feel saying this, after Google earnings, I was like, before the earnings call, that was the difference. Like, before the earnings call, Google's numbers looked good. And then during the earnings call, they talked about Capex and 205 billion and all that stuff, and that freaked people out. But prior to that earnings call, I was like, yo, Google kind of looks good here. I mean, these numbers are pretty good. Great EPS, beat on revenue, you know. Everything looked like cloud revenue growth was solid. And so I'm like, okay, Google had a good earnings report. And then I also read, you know, Kramer at the same time was like, hey, you know, the numbers look good for Google. And then the earnings call happened. And somehow I was on the same side as the Kramer. And then the earnings call happened, and yeah, but I still like Google. I think Google's a good company, and I don't think the numbers were that bad. I think just Capex is still freaking people out. Short SpaceX, Microsoft. Yes to software. ServiceNow was on Kramer after earnings. When they all hate software like they are now, I buy it. I mean, dude, software's down a lot. The issue is how AI creates software pretty easily now. You know, it's a risk. Kramer's a unicorn. He tanks everything. I think Britt is back. Hello, Robot Britt. How you doing?
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Am I getting the robot stuff?
Nah, you sound pretty good right now. What do you guys think? Is Britt sounding better? I think he is.
Okay, well, I restarted my computer and reset my router.
Yeah,
So
I think you've done it.
I'm the greatest.
Yeah. So I did see news just now that Iran's IRGC said it destroyed a residence housing U.S. military personnel and several fighter jets in Jordan and more. Jordan's army says it downed several Iranian missiles and 6 drones. Only 1 tanker passed through the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, according to Mayor News. So a little bit more escalating news here, I would say. But again, I don't know if market cares at this point in time. Oil still down under 90s. NASDAQ still rising on memory bouncing back here. But
way less robot-y to me. Good. To be honest with you, when y'all heard that robot voice, that was really just my mask slipping.
yeah, you're not a robot anymore, Britt. You're evolved.
Yeah. I robot, you know?
Yeah. I not robot is what you should have said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Philip K. Dick wrote that too.
Yeah, listen, it's time, guys. It's time. We do have manufacturing PMI at 945. We'll see what we get. Good to see oil being below 90. If you bought software, yes. What's your favorite software company to buy? Microsoft is kind of a hedging. It's kind of like a IBM as well. They're kind of both software names. Where's IBM at today, though, dude? IBM back up to 208s. Still not up. Yeah, it's still down huge from its earnings report. Look at the gap down from earnings report here on a daily chart. We're still at 206s.
Also, I said Philip. It's actually Isaac Asimov, but you know, whatever.
British AI. There's the IT Brit. Gold pop.
Salute to me, you know?
Yeah, the big story in gold is China restricting paper gold. Banks are restricting paper gold in China. They're going to make them accumulate and buy real gold.
We were talking about that earlier, and I mean, you basically talked about what that was and kind of what it meant. But I mean, I know you can't fathom, you know, the Chinese government's reasoning necessarily, but like, to your mind, what would be the point of doing that?
To avoid big corrections, you know, like there's been a growing disparity between paper and physical gold. Like Sam put this up the other day in our Discord. Join our Discord, by the way, guys. I'm just saying, join our Discord. But let me find it. Yeah, do it now. I'll put the link up. But Sam posted this the other day. I gotta find it. Hold on. And one of the things it showed here. Yeah, here is what he put up yesterday. So it's retail physical gold premium over paper spot. You can see generally speaking, when there's a big disparity between paper and physical, it usually is in the midst of some correction. Here's 1980, inflation crisis. Here is 2007. Here's 2020, and then here's now. You know, one of the things that you'll notice is that the time frame it's been this way and it's held this way is much longer here. So like that is a much wider time frame than some of these past ones. And so generally speaking, this can be bad and predict some type of, you know, geopolitical or macroeconomic event. And maybe China's trying to get in front of that.
So the 19, I mean, I know all the rest of them, and I'm pretty certain about the 1970 was due to the oil embargo, right, under Carter?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Already told you, Britt, they cut out retail so the banks can control gold. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. Love gold and silver, hodl.
That makes sense. Drops.
I'm trying to... Or sorry, go ahead, Britt.
No, okay, I just saw a comment that Sam made. They want to replace the petrodollar ultimately. I'm kind of interested in that. So, Sam, if at some point you could talk a little more about that, maybe in the Discord, I would be interested to hear more about that, because I've heard a lot about that. I mean, that was the whole point of BRICS and stuff too. So, yeah,
there's the Discord link right there if you want to post it.
Yeah. I'd like to talk to him about it later potentially if he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I know FDR gold standard. Paper gold allows leverage. They don't want to see excessive losses. It can kind of get rid of some of the, like, over leveraging is generally bad, however you look at it. But that's part of it. They're just trying to avoid some of the manipulation and stuff like that. Probably try to get in front of that dynamic here. Intel up to almost 104s here.
I didn't know that drops. Thanks, man. That's interesting. Honestly, like genuinely, I enjoy learning about that kind of stuff. I'm a history buff.
Does anything release at 8:30? No, not really today. We had building purpose earlier. We got flash manufacturing and services PMI data at 9:45. I missed her by the dip. You think chip stocks will pop today based off of earnings from Intel? It does justify Capex a little bit with Intel earnings. And Intel raised guidance. They did good, but they didn't hold for Intel. So it just depends on... I mean, we might see some chip stocks movement here. We're seeing MU move. You know, here's MU. So MU's still red on the day. It closed at 990s yesterday, though, after Intel earnings release right afterwards. But Intel had a decent... Or this is MU, I'm sorry. Intel's at 104s right now, so it's still green from earnings, but it's not as green as it was. Yeah, if you want to know what we're talking about in the late 70s, early 80s, like look, you can look at a couple different metrics. Here's a let me see if it'll let me look at this. It's not going to let me look at inflation that far back. No, it won't. Okay. Let's take a look at federal funds rate, because the federal funds rate goes up with inflation. Because as inflation is higher, the Fed has to raise rates to compensate for it more. So look at the Fed's fund rate. Look at interest rates. Here's the late 70s, early 80s. Federal funds rate was 20. Almost 20, 19 point something. So look how high the federal funds rate went. You can look at oil as well on the same period of time. I don't know if futures will let me look back that high, but let's see. No, it's not. Oh wait, weekly. No, it won't. No. Point is, inflation was freaking crazy. Late 70s, early 80s. Oil about to pump. We're in 1998. S&P 500 wise. S&P is doing okay though, bro. S&P is holding. You know, here's the S&P right now. So S&P is not that far away from all-time highs. It's been holding better than the tech-heavy Nasdaq, which is getting hit on Capex fears and software fears and everything basically going on there. Yeah, Intel earnings were decent. I mean, Intel, you know, they raised guidance. And so let me see exactly what they did. I talked about it earlier already, but Intel's driving some of this movement here, some of this optimism. Kospi index again did drop 5% overnight. And again, another big story is tariffs, right? But we'll go into that in a second. But again, Intel Q2 exceeded expectations. They issued stronger guidance. They said AI-driven demand for server processors was cited as the driver. If we look at Intel, so Intel did pretty good. But again, it didn't hold. But it does justify Capex to a certain extent, and this matters because again, Google raised Capex to 195 to 205 billion, which is more chip orders. Intel confirms a little bit. They, you know, essentially confirms that the server AI demand is real. So Nvidia, AMD, all that stuff, they're doing all right. Nvidia is almost green on the day. But going back to it, oil is still elevated, but it's under 90. The tariff story is one of the big stories impacting things today, though. So 10% tariffs was announced for countries implementing forced labor prohibitions. 12.5% tariff for countries that haven't. 60 countries were affected, but it did exempt oil, gas, fertilizer, and more. So it was lower than feared, which is kind of risk on relief, and so that's one of the reasons markets might be bouncing back. Oil exemption is good for oil prices, right? Like, so exempting oil from tariffs is good. If he didn't exempt oil, then obviously oil might be even more elevated regarding those tariffs. You know, obviously other countries condemned it to a certain extent, but the dollar index, if we take a look at the Dixie today, the dollar index, you know, it's actually up a little bit on the day, but it did drop some on this. And yeah, thoughts on Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Apple next week? I think those are crucial. I think it's going to be really, really important. Tech earnings are going to be really important. Yeah, I saw that earlier, Cospa. I wouldn't put too much into Intel earnings because they're up 300% in the last 52 weeks. Well, yeah, but is it most tech? Most chip-related stocks? You know, yeah, Intel's up a crazy amount. I mean, I remember Intel when it was like $60, $50. Like if you look at the last year of Intel, a year ago Intel was $20. So
we could potentially talk about it later in the Discord if you want drops. I mean, I did watch a lot of, well, not a lot, but several Milton Friedman lectures pertaining to that. So we can maybe talk about it later if you want in the Discord.
yeah,
Don't really have the time to get into extremely lengthy discussions here.
yeah, we had Canadian PPI show up at negative 1.4% versus negative 0.4% expected. So they had better inflation data as well. I don't know if this is really going to affect things in a crucial way, but better than expected inflation data for Canada. But oil is very flat right now. We're at $90 a barrel essentially here. Yeah, so Sam, are you bullish on gold? Gold says, interestingly, the U.S. and alluded to under Bassett speeches. But Sam basically said the U.S. requires the dollar to weaken. Gold goes up. I'm talking over years though. Sell for today. Yeah, that cyclosporiasis has expanded to 9 states according to NBC. Yeah, I heard it's in lettuce. No? Alright, guys. So a little bit quieter today. A lot of stuff's just flat, man. We've just been chopping up and down for an hour plus now in most things. Nasdaq started to dip again, though, here. Look.
Britt, are you in a board meeting? Yes. Actually, you're distracting me. I'm trying to run my worldwide cabal, so, you know.
Yeah, he is, actually. NVIDIA receives positive mention in the information. They said the stock is priced as though everything that could go wrong in the next couple of years will go wrong. An opportunity for investors willing to take a longer view regarding NVIDIA. Yeah, so maybe people, I like NVIDIA long term too. I really do. I mean, NVIDIA, regardless of Capex fears, NVIDIA still should do well. Memory related to this, obviously, but memory pulling back a little bit. I don't know what to do today, man. I tried one trade, it didn't work out. The swings have been a little bit like we're sideways, but we're whipping back and forth quickly through these. Yeah, I see the drone and logistics warehouses stuff. Solana. Let's buy Google up 100
Is that
from
your
here.
aim?
Do you guys like buying Google? Is Google cheap right now, guys? What do you guys think?
Did you hang up on me, or is my signal messed?
I did not hang up on you, Britt.
Okay. Well, to be fair, we got some bad weather coming through. You know that storm. So
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the storm's gonna hit.
I got to check on me pretty often.
It was downgraded though, but hopefully it's not that bad.
Yeah, but it's still throwing off a lot of excess rain and cloud cover.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. I hope it misses. We stopped getting scared of hurricanes here, but
like I said, I got to check because you hang up. I don't really care. We need the rain.
yeah. Buffett isn't selling. Yeah, well, Buffett's what, like 95?
That's funny, Pew.
SpaceX looks bullish. If you turn it upside down, it looks like a blow off top. SpaceX has a launch this afternoon. Yeah, for sure. Looks like crude oil is rolling over. Yeah, I see crude dropping some, but the Nasdaq's kind of falling simultaneously with this. I see a senior Chinese official met with FDI director in Beijing, according to reports. Yeah.
Did sell solar business light source to Kuwait-backed group.
Yeah. I don't. What's weird is like the news has been strangely light today. I mean, we've heard some escalating news for sure, but the markets haven't really reacted to it. I don't think they're going to too much. What's up, Faye? How you doing? If not buy here
Morning,
down, then
Faye.
buy it up. Yeah, oil's still down. I'm waiting for a trade right now, guys. Again, what's your trade plan for the day? Anybody know? What's your trade plan for the day? What are you guys looking at? Because at this point in time, I don't freaking know what we're going to get. Right now, we're sideways. I think we could go up or down, believe it or not. SpaceX affects Google. Yeah, Google invested a big chunk into SpaceX, too. And SpaceX, man, it's just been not good. It's up a little bit, though, over the last few minutes here. But, like, look at the downward trajectory. SpaceX, on July 1st, 3 weeks ago, was at $176 a share. It was at 220s prior to that. It's now at 117. It's hit 110 yesterday. So SpaceX is kind of slumping the market down. And like I said, I don't necessarily like these market conditions short term. I think we got a lot of headwinds short term potentially with, everything going on. Conflict, oil, inflation, tech overvaluation fears, SpaceX slumping, SK Hynix. And now IPOs can be wild. Here's SK Hynix. And they're basically neutral from their IPO. They're basically flat. They're right around where they came in at. But yeah, pre-market price action it's not really good today for sure. When oil goes down, stocks go up lately. Yeah, that's just from the inflation and yield dynamic here. Like when oil goes down, people are more optimistic around inflation. When people are more optimistic about inflation and less rate hike potential, then markets generally go up. It's not perfect though. Like that dynamic is not easy. And a lot of it just has to do with oil, obviously. I'm looking at the micro E mini, watching 74.5s. If we make higher highs above, we may get to the high of the week. If we hold below, we may get to the low of the week, but who knows? All the news is negative and bearish. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's good. Oil overbought. Buy or sell oil right now, guys? What do you guys think? I'm assuming everybody says buy. But maybe some people are saying sell. What do you guys think? Buy or sell oil right now? I don't think we're doomed necessarily. I think we've had stuff like this historically, but oil, as I say this here, guys, is starting to fall. Look at oil. So under 90s, $89, might break into 88s. And maybe you'll see markets start to bounce up. I see Verizon CEO expects Q3 mobility and broadband service revenue to grow 3% year over year. Buy or sell oil right now, guys? What do you guys think? Let me know in chat right now. Buy or sell oil. Also, lurkers. We got almost 1,100 people here. I know we got a lot of people that watch the stream. You never say anything. You never chat. You never comment. I just want to put it out there. I appreciate you. I'm talking to you. Some of you guys are on your phone, announce yourself.
I know you appreciate.
What, Britt? Hello, Britt.
So thanks. I knew you appreciated me.
Okay, yeah.
I know you're talking to lurkers, but
You could be a lurker, Britt. They might recruit you.
I just pretended you were talking to me because I need the validation. I mean, with this internet connection, I might have to lurk.
Yeah, dude, honestly, you might be lurking today if this internet connection keeps holding up, dude. Hey, thank you, Jared. Tesla thoughts? I think Tesla's sketchy, bro. I like Tesla, but I think Tesla's sketchy right now, personally. I'm sorry, guys. I know I might say this and people might get mad at me, but I think Tesla's a little sketchy. Why do I think Tesla's sketchy? I think Tesla's sketchy because its PE ratio is very bad. Very bad. Now, it's working on things in the future, and that's good. But PE ratio is really bad. The novelty, I think, is worn off with Tesla cars. I think less people want to buy them. And the margins are horrible. And I understand, like, getting into other things like robotics and all that good stuff and robo-taxis. And I think that's a good thing because I think they have to pivot. But short term, I think it's bad. I don't know if there's a ton of optimistic things. But what do you guys think? Do you guys like Tesla stock? I should have held that short, bro. But hindsight's 2020. I still like Nike. I would rather buy Google than Tesla. Hey, what's up? Up and away. Trading oils like flipping a coin.
I like that expression. Hindsight is 2020.
You like the expression?
It's true to say. Sometimes I disagree with it because some people just never learn. Yeah. But I disagree with it sometimes because, like I said, some people just never learn, even when they...
Yeah.
Like that expression, it's always when that's not true because a lot of people give up and never find it.
Yeah. I mean, Britt, I mean, I just got to be honest with you. We heard maybe like 60% of that. What do you think of Xpeng? Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see robots be a big money pool in markets. I've been saying this for years. I think AI comes next sector to get a big money pool is robotics. We've seen quantum kind of pull back here. Does anybody still like quantum right now? Rigetti's still down at 14s, 15s. Tesla and SpaceX both crashing. Yeah.
NFA, it's a constant struggle today.
Yeah. Yeah. Google over Tesla all day. Google or Tesla, guys? It's time to buy the quantum dip. Yeah, but what? Okay, so for those that say it's time to buy the quantum dip, right? I have a question for you guys, and I want some details here. I'm not saying you're wrong regarding quantum. Like, here's Rigetti. It seems cheap relative to recent price actions, right? Just I'm going to preface what I'm going to say with that. But if you like quantum, what's your outlook regarding future success in quantum? You know, like what time frame do you think you need to hold to be green in quantum and for quantum as a sector to really justify some of the historical big runs to the upside? Maybe I said that in kind of a confusing way, but I guess my point is, if you like to buy quantum, what's your thesis? Like, what is the justification for that outlook? You know, what's the justification? 20 years, 30 years, 2 to 5 years, 30 years, IONQ 10 years. About the same as SpaceX years, 10 years for quantum. Quantum isn't now, invest and see nothing. Quantum is one leg of the next decade of chip wars, processor chips. QPU is the next leg of it. Yeah. 10 to 20 years for viable quantum computing. Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. It's going to be some time. So, like, yeah, investing long term, it might be cheap here, but you might have to hold through some freaking swings. And quantum is the risk, right? Like, quantum computers, still very fragile. Still incredibly expensive. And so that's the issue right now, is that, like, it's hard to monetize at this point in time. And so that's, anytime we're pre-profits and stuff like this, there's risks. You guys overestimating the breakthrough in quantum? Mine is just a trust me bro thesis. Can it run Halo? Probably can. Only way to make quantum is to put it into space. Robotics will boom before quantum. No, I agree. I think robotics are going to be first. I think robotics is the next step. So I see U.S. government will reportedly withdraw its bid to improve military intelligence following Palantir's lawsuit alleging it was improperly excluded from the contract in May, according to Bloomberg. 5 to 10 years. Solar roads. Yeah, we did get the new Halo. We played it last night.
It was great too.
Yeah, Britt, are you Ethernet cord? Are you like you need to get a long Ethernet cord and just plug it in? You know,
a hookup for. It doesn't have a hookup for a hard line. It doesn't have a port.
Does it really? So Britt has Starlink. Starlink doesn't let you direct port into the satellite or the antenna.
Satellite.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, I'm sorry the vape is bad, guys.
AT&T fiber in my neighborhood soon.
I hear people talking about the vape. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying. It's a nasty habit. I'm trying to quit. Again, I'm going to the beach in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks with people that smoke. And so my logic is like, do I quit now and then probably start back again and have to quit again, which is just double the pain? Or do I just wait and then quit after the beach? And so, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I'm sorry. Yeah, shame on me. I know. Shame on me. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best.
We're gonna make you do a Cersei Lannister and walk down the streets and
walk down the streets. Get a bell. Get a bell. John, you better quit. You sounded like Selma from The Simpsons. I'm trying, dude. I'm trying here. I'm doing my best, guys. I'm a simple man, you know. I'm a married dad who works one job. You know, I love my kids. I never stop, guys. You know, I'm trying.
Never stop, never stop.
Yeah. Yeah, give me a break. I gotta. Yeah, we can barely hear you, Britt. You might want to just pause for a little bit longer.
Yeah, honestly, I don't.
I feel like Britt was about to rant about his internet.
It's gonna work today.
There he goes. He just broke up. Yeah. Is Bitcoin going down? I don't know, man. Bitcoin it's holding. It's down a little bit from the 66s it was at yesterday. Oh no, Bitcoin has fallen all the way down to under 65s now. It's at 64.70s. Oil started to jump up a little bit. It hit 89s, but it's still struggling here. Where's the NASDAQ at right now? Yeah, I mean, we're in a range here on the NASDAQ. I could wait for this range to break, but Starlink is good internet. We in the South are getting hit by hurricanes and stuff. You know. Starlink is getting fed up. Yeah. Yeah, the tariff news today that we got is, again, I talked about this earlier, but we did have news regarding tariffs with the president. The U.S. government customs duties receipts showed a negative balance of $25.5 billion in June as tariffs paid by importers under the IEEPA are being reimbursed. The tariff imposed on country-by-country basis obviously was struck down by the Supreme Court not that long ago. But the president announced new tariffs, I think 10%, and then they're up to 12.5% for some countries. But they're excluding oil, which is just the big risk right now. Intel is starting to come down a little bit. Intel at 103s. Starlink is great. I've never used it. It's not rain. Like, we have a hurricane in the South. Service now looks good in the 90s, you think? You know, their service now it's at 94s. Yeah, we had some upgrades as well that I'm looking at here, but hey, what's up, Boob Doc?
White gravy.
Yeah, I might actually become rich off of shorting Bitcoin with the Clarity Act gets announced. Yeah, I mean, if we look at the odds for the Clarity Act right now, I looked at this yesterday. The odds have gone down. You know, this was at roughly 40+%. Now it's at 38. So they've gone down a little bit regarding the Clarity Act. Yeah, we'll see what happens though, man. Again, here's Google. Here's Tesla. You know, sometimes, though, the problem with price action like we have today is that sometimes when we get choppy, boring days ahead of the open, at the opening bell, volatility is unlocked and we get freaking dumpster fires. And so that's kind of what I'm worried about. We can also obviously go the other way here with stuff. And so, you know, what do you guys think? Bull or bear for the opening bell? White gravy. That's my nickname. You know, nothing look good. Nothing looks good. Yeah, strategy. Bear, bull or bear for the opening bell? Let me know in chat right now. Bull or bear? What do you guys think? Chop before the storm. People are talking about Nike. I still don't hate Nike. How's Home Depot doing? Home Depot said.
Only reason I hate Nike is because my foot's.
I'm gonna. We couldn't hear what Britt said, but I'm just gonna say what Britt probably said. Okay, because I know Britt. I know what he was gonna say. All right, this is what Britt was about to say. because I know Brit, right? Brit's gonna say the only reason I don't like Nike is because his feet are too wide to wear them. You know, that's what Brit's saying right now, almost certainly. Brit's gonna say the only reason I don't like Nike is because I can't wear them because my feet are too wide, right? Like, you're welcome, guys. I'm the translator here. You know, you're welcome. Brit, go sit in timeout. I'll tell him what you were gonna say. All right, this is what Brit was gonna say. Brit was gonna say John's great. You know, John's trading is phenomenal. People walk in the room, they look at John's trading, they say, wow, that's the best trading I've ever seen. You know, Brit said that. Another thing Brit said,
he's a great trader. Wonderful trader. Some people say the best.
Yeah, that's right. You know. Brit was also going to say, you know, John is, you know, way better than him in Halo. Especially, you know, Campaign Evolved yesterday. John just did so much better than Brit. He was shocked to see how much better than him I did. So I used to live Nike, but that's not true. I wear ultra wide. And Brit can't really respond here, so this is my moments. Alright, guys, look, here's gold. Again, we're waiting here. Market's freaking boring right now, dude. Here's oil. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's still falling here, though, and I guess I am short, but I don't want to short the bottom of this range right now. So I do not want to short the bottom of this range. We're almost to the 9 a.m. scrum. Good morning. What's up, Achilles? Laugh song, please. Trump is decimating Bitcoin. Bro was going to say 100 to everybody in chat. Yeah, I saw that, Zachary. I don't know, you know. It's hard to put weight on those stories. You know, I think there's a lot of fear and uncertainty with stuff like that. And I get it. Again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. With AI, we need to just make sure we do not program them with defense mechanisms. You know, like, obviously, I think that should be a bigger story that people are talking about. And obviously, maybe some of these companies, that's what they're doing. But, you know, I think sometimes when we're in such like a rapid growth phase for a sector like this, that sometimes stuff like that takes a back seat. And again, I've watched Terminator too many times. I've watched sci-fi all my life. Regarding stuff like that, I just hope they program them in a smart way. Sometimes do nothing. Patience is best. Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes it's just better to wait right now. But market's a little boring right now, for sure. Yeah. I'm still watching Google, but man, Tesla. Look at the NASDAQ still fade here. NASDAQ still dropping. It's mostly from memory pull it all the way back. So memory was up to 985s for like MU specifically. It's down to 974s. So MU is taking a back seat. And it's pulling back. NVIDIA also pulling back slightly here. SK Hynix is dipping small as well. So a lot of this is just memory pulling back. And again, the Kospi did drop over 5% last night. Software will pump today. Would you rather buy software or MU or memory plays today? Software or memory? What do you guys prefer? Claude accidentally changed some code. Don't forget it's Friday, swing traders buy it back and go golfing. Yeah, but what's the chances that we get escalation over the weekend? I did a poll today, buy or sell the market. 58% say buy, 42% say sell. So interesting. But memory or software is a question today. Maybe I should do a poll on that. I think that's an interesting question. Both semis. I don't know. I think they're kind of playing off of each other right now. Like if memory goes up, software goes down, and vice versa, because they're looked at as AI versus software. Software is definitely scary. Yeah, so software is definitely a little scary right now. I mean, software is cheaper though. Also, all things considered, you can look at like ServiceNow. Yeah, sorry, Britt. Bonds. Why you sell when things go down? Depends on what we're selling here. But here's ServiceNow. They're up a little bit today. Here's Microsoft. Here's IBM. So software is slightly green on the day. All things. What? Hello, is somebody there? No, I guess not. I guess nobody's here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear, brother. I can. Yeah. Snow is more stable. Software was scary. We weren't up 55 points. Not now.
Frozen's my favorite movie.
Do you want to build a robot, Brit? Software's better right now. Yeah, I mean, what software stock do you
I
like?
do.
I'm kind of tempted to buy Microsoft because I think Microsoft, it's software, but it's also diversified. So, but look at chips still falling down here. Here's MU. So MU getting close to the lows of the day, which is at 960. Yeah. Buy TSM. Snow is more stable. Invest long-term bond prices. Yeah, but if you buy TLT, when yields go up, TLT goes down. So buying TLT would basically be betting that oil prices fall from where they are now, short term. Maybe we're talking long term, but buying TLT would basically be a bet on lower oil, i.e. lower inflation, i.e. lower yields. And so buying TLT, like buying bond prices, dollar index might go to one of these dollar index might go on one of those face melting rallies. Yeah, I mean, if yields spike, sure. If we get more escalation over the weekend, sure, the Dixie will rip. And looking at the dollar index today, dollar index is at 101.5s basically right now. So its dollar index is actually green a little bit on the day.
Thanks, Matt. I'll look into it.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I still believe semiconductors will run the hardest. No one cares when I explain physics. I don't know why I bother. Yeah, well, to be fair, most people don't understand physics, Sam. So, it's what I use for my computer.
Care, and I understand some of it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand some of it.
Well, point is, I care. So I don't know if you hear me, Sam, but I care. So
yeah, the headline is Brit cares, guys. He cares for you guys. All Mag 7 they mentioned will be buying more, even if it means hurting stock price.
That kind of stuff. So
Iraq on Friday denied a New York Times report that is mediating U.S.-Iran negotiations to secure ceasefire, calling the story completely baseless and detached from reality. BlackRock is kicking off a high-grade bond sale tied to Meta and Bloomberg, according to Bloomberg. Yeah, breaking. Brit cares. Look at the NASDAQ still fall, though, here in memory prices. Thank you for the subscribe, Vincent. Shout out to Vincent for the sub, bro. Thank you, dude. But look at the NASDAQ still fading here, guys. It's getting close to that low. It's still a little ways away, but we did break some of this range. If we bounce up here, I might short it. We bounce up to like maybe 615s. I'll short it. Maybe. Netflix? Where's Netflix at? I bought Netflix a few days ago. And again, if you haven't already, guys, check out my coupon code BGT. Great way to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. Apex has 100,000 evals for $59. No activation fee. If you want to check that out. Again, Apex, if you want cheap accounts, you get 100K eval for $59 right now with no activation fee on Apex. If you check out Apex right now, you can also buy a 5-pack bundle, which is incredibly useful. And I try to run the stream and give people free stuff here. But look, intraday trail, no activation fee. If I go to 100K, again, guys, this right now is $59 if you use coupon code BGT and check out. $59. They are an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. I try to be honest, but genuinely useful for traders, guys. Check them out. Here's the link. We appreciate it. You can also use the link on Lucid and more. I'm still looking at Netflix, though. Netflix. And what about single stock futures, bro? They're supposed to come in, what, 3 days here? Have any prop firms talked about this? I mean, I'm sure they're waiting to see what they look like, the single stock futures look like. you know, to see what the risk and all that stuff looks like regarding single stock futures. But aren't we supposed to get those next week? They're supposed to start Monday of next week, single stock futures. And so I'm curious. Yeah, slow day. Typical Friday drop. I mean, we're not really dropping that much on anything, to be honest here, but explain why single stock futures are different than options, because single stock futures are more like day trading stocks, I would say, than options. They're similar but different nonetheless, right? Like they more closely mirror. Options are very nuanced. You got the Greeks, you got time decay, you got more. Single stock futures have less of that. They're still not as good as like stocks, but it's just going to open up more futures day trading potential.
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Has my signal or quality gotten any?
I mean, it's still a little choppy.
Okay. Well, this is getting very frustrating. Would you have a problem if I
I can't really hear you.
just rolled out, honestly, because like I can't even. Exactly my point.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really hear you, bro. I mean, I'd love for you to stick around, but, you know, do what you gotta do, bro. Alright, so we honestly, we had the 9 a.m. scrum, and the market didn't really move at all. Are you joining from your phone? Who's the robot guy? I don't know who that is, man. He just joined the stream. Yeah, join us in chat, Britt. That's right. Alright, so we are bouncing back up to where I said I would enter potentially here. Again, the market's so flat. Alright, I'm trying to take larger size in this account. We just jumped in with 13 contracts here. I might get punished for it, but like honestly, this is a 250,000 account. I could probably take more risk. Or got hacked. Yeah, maybe a little bit. All right, so we're at 13 contracts here. Let's see if we get a little breakdown. There we go. I'll take that off. I'm up about 200 here. We'll take a little bit more off. There we go. We're up a little bit more. We'll take a little bit more off. 4 contracts left. Nicely green on the day here. I'll hold half of this now. No, this is a funded account. We'll hold the rest. I mean, I'll probably won't hold it break even, but I'll hold it a little bit over that. Maybe like 610s is my risk level the rest of this here. See if we keep dropping. We got 25 minutes until the opening bell. All right, I see U.S. evacuates all its military aircrafts from Al Udeid. Reports incident citing satellite imagery. Hey, thank you, Bitcoin Bill. Hey, shout out to you, bro. $50 donation. My guy. Thanks so much, dude, with the $50 dono, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. Pump it up, Brit. I don't know if Brit's... I guess Brit's still here, but he says, Brit is the man. Thank you guys for what you do. Hey, thank you, sir. Shout out to you, man. You're a made man in the chat now, or woman. Well, you know, whomever you are. Bitcoin dumping down right now, guys. Look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin is fading into the opening bell right now. Look at Bitcoin. 64s. So let's see what happens. But yeah, Intel crushed it. So they did pretty good. Again, it's the Kramer curse real. Everything's starting to pull back. MU, everything here. So my trade's still holding pretty nicely here, though. Look. Do I take another off here? I think so, baby. Then add back is the plan. We took half off of that. We're getting close here. Look, this low down here is the scary low at 466. So that low is kind of the scary one. Oil will pump now. Oil's back up to almost 90 right now. And I think this is after news that the U.S. evacuates all military aircrafts from Al Udeid. Qatar reports SNN citing satellite imagery. So this news is probably what's doing it. This news right here is probably what's doing it. We are dropping down. Hey, baby, how you doing? All right, we're still dropping here in the NASDAQ. Bitcoin down to 64.3s though here, man. So Bitcoin dropping. I think this is the news that's driving this, but I'll take it. I think that's the news driving this downward push here, but it's hard to figure out really. Oil back up to almost $8.90 or almost $90.
Also, just for verification, that is me speaking in the chat.
There you go, bro. That sounded good, dude. You're back, bro. Wait, where is you right now? Oh, Ibato. That's you right there. I know.
I know. I'm telling the chat in case they didn't believe that it was me. It is me.
It is Brit. You know, it's not a catfish. You know, that'd be a wild catfish that showed up. Like, hey, I'm Brit. It's gonna start to test that position. Should I add to this, guys, or should I wait? This is a short position, by the way. But oil's right back up to 90. I think the big question, Bitcoin continues to slump down here.
I sound strong now. I always sound strong. I'm a powerful man.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, you know, I know it. Look at the earnings next week, though. Next week, though. Here's the earnings calendar for next week. So this is a big story. Look, here's the earnings calendar. This is from Wall Street Horizon. I just pulled it on X, but look at Microsoft, Meta, ARM, QCOM, Big Tech, Robinhood as well. Look at Robinhood down there. That Wednesday. And then Thursday we got Amazon, Coinbase, Roblox, MicroStrategy, Rivian, Reddit. So yeah, Wednesday next week is huge. We'll see what happens though. All right, I asked the chat whether I should hold this. I'm assuming they're gonna say no, don't do it. You know, stay with it. It's going lower. Boys are working hard.
What proof of life would you like?
I don't know. What's a good test for Brit there?
Well, I went ahead and said what I typed at roughly the same time.
So Brit is real, apparently, guys. He's a real man. Next week is scary. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I said this earlier. I think we've seen negative reactions to tech earnings so far. In general, we've seen a bunch of negative responses to tech earnings. I'm trying to see why Bitcoin is falling down, but Bitcoin is dipping here. Look at Bitcoin right now. 64,370s here. So Bitcoin is actually fading right now. I don't know why, but it is fading down here for some reason.
I don't know how to make my name blue. Same.
Yeah, I don't know why Bitcoin is fading. About time for Bitcoin? Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, I don't know. It's still not as bad as it was not that long ago. So, I mean, Bitcoin is down today, sure. But, I'm not going to get scared for Bitcoin yet. Next Era says it's on track to install approximately 900 megawatts of solar and more than 1.4 gigawatts of battery storage this year. Yeah, Bitcoin's still fading some here. I'm still in the short position, though, by the way, guys. And I think heading into the opening bell in 15 minutes. That's the risk. Pessimism. I mean, I could make Brit a mod. I'll have to talk with him about, you know, the responsibilities of being a mod, you know? If there's one thing we hear, it's responsibility, you know?
The heavy responsibilities, the honor
that comes with being a mod. Yeah, that's right. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a serious thing. We gotta be serious about it. Yeah, I might short a little bit more here. We'll add 2. I'm very green on the day. I'm up hundreds on the day already. I'm trying to take bigger sides today, so just bear with me, guys. And hopefully we can do it right.
Pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended, always. Anytime there's bear in the word, it's definitely pun intended. I don't think Brit's ready for being a mod. No? You don't think Brit's ready? Is Brit ready to be a mod, guys? Bitcoin testing lows of the day again. Oil's right back to 90 here, too, though. Like, look at oil.
I was born ready. But for something else, not that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if yields are jumping up right now. They're up a little bit. Not a crazy amount, though.
Thor's band humor. Thank you, Steve. Perseverance is key.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the president's going to meet Zelensky in Washington next Tuesday, according to the White House. Oil, again, look, right at $90 a barrel. This level has been a big resistance level here, though. But if we finally crack over 90s, you know, it might be different here. But
I think you guys are right. The power would definitely go to my head. I'd probably end up, you know, no soup for you kind of guy.
yeah. Brit's going to get banned crazy and just ban everyone. He'll get too excited. I can tell by the way he trades.
You want the bread? No soup.
Yeah. Brit will turn into the KGB, is what you're saying? The power will go to his head. You know? The power. The responsibility. You know, with great power comes great responsibility here.
No, the Stasi.
That's my quote. I came up with that quote. That's me. Oil just popped over 90 for a split second, though, for WTI crude. Brit is back under 100. But, we'll see what happens here. The opening bell is almost here. We got 15 minutes. And speaking of this, let's see if the NASDAQ starts to run higher here. All right, so I've added to my short position. Here it is. I'll try to hold this break even, though. We're nicely green regardless of this trade, but freaking Fridays.
I'm bearish today. At love.
You're bearish? Brit is bearish. Does that mean we're going up? Oil is up to $90.09 here. Yeah, shout out to the you see the donation you got, Brit, $50. But it's not your donation. I mean it's mine. But like, yeah.
Wait, who got a donation? What happened?
I got one, but I'm pretty sure they meant to say John. It says Brit is the man. Thank you guys for what you do. Look, I'm pretty sure he meant John, but that's okay. You know, errors happen.
Thank you, BTC Bill.
All right, so we're still kind of covering this position.
Just like I am, apparently, according to you. So thank you, man.
Intel's still dropping. It's at 102s. Oil back over 90s here. Where's the NASDAQ? I mean, the NASDAQ's at 580s. I'm in it right now. Where's the S&P? Is the S&P reacting? I see Intel dropping. IBM is up still. Where's MU at? MU's still at 970s. Yeah, the question is, do we get a sell-off into the opening bell today?
Oh.
You know, a sell-off, in my opinion, would look like this. All right. Memory coming down. Tesla coming down. SpaceX coming down. Google drop it. I think that is what. Oh man, I looked the other way here. I'm gonna cut the rest of this mostly flat. But and so we're out of that now. But we're up hundreds on the day, which is good. But we are starting to see a little pop here. You know, I don't know if this is a squeeze from the selling pressure that we just got, but we are starting to see a little bounce here right now. Look, so the Nasdaq's starting to pop back up.
I just realized what you meant, Faye. See,
I see updated stretch facts for March to July. Michael Saylor reposted this. Retail ownership declined 78 to 71%. From 78 to 71% as institutional adoption accelerated. Average institutional holdings increased 105% to 3.5 million. Early nerves out of the bell. I mean, oil's over 90. So it's moving a little bit. Oh, we do have manufacturing numbers today, but look at this green show up here. I almost want to short into this, though, but it would have to be a short trade here. We'll take a couple right here. But it would have to be a short trade. I am trading the micro NASDAQ right now, is what this is. You know. Currently in this account, I'm up about 1,500. Yeah, we're shorting the NASDAQ. Essentially is what we're shorting here. I've seen stocks go parabolic. When I first started trading, I traded what's called DRYS. Hey, what's up, 007? Great chat. Hey, thank you, brother. Hi there from Cape Town. What's up, dude? Oil's still up, though. I mean, oil's still climbing slowly here. There we go. I've seen plenty. When I first got started trading here. All right, look, this is a short trade. I'm going to cover some of it. But when I first started trading, we had something called DRYS, dry ships. This thing went from $2 to 100 plus in like a day or two. We see much less of this now, though. Like, maybe I just don't pay attention to penny stocks as much. But generally, we see less parabolic penny stocks now, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you guys trade penny stocks. Let me know. I don't really trade them anymore. But yeah. All right, I'm going to cut the rest of this probably flat. I'll give it a second.
What's the Dixie doing?
Yeah, I see somebody say the dollar index. The dollar index is dipping down some, which could mean lower yields. And again, I've given this dynamic before, but there's a couple dynamics in bonds that I really like to reinforce here on this channel, because I think if you understand the bond market and the correlations, you can understand markets in general, right? Yields and interest rates follow each other. So, I mean, because they're not the same thing, but they're related, obviously. Yields and interest rates. Like how much bonds payouts correlates with interest rates across the world and the country specifically. Bond prices and bond yields inverse each other, and I talked about this yesterday. Why is that the case?
Carpe diem means seize the day. Man.
Yeah. Why is that the case that bond yields and bond prices inverse each other? Is because as new bonds are issued with higher yields, why would anybody buy lower yield, like the old bonds with lower yields, right? They wouldn't, because you can buy bonds with higher yields now. And so what they have to do to compensate for that is they have to lower the price of the old bonds to compensate for it, right? To compensate for the higher yielding new bonds that are out. So that should make sense, right? Like when new bonds are issued paying higher yields, they have to lower the price of the previous ones so that people want to buy them, because why would you buy two things priced the same amount? One has higher yield, one has lower yield. You're going to buy the higher yield one every time. So they lower bond prices. So because of that, prices and yields inverse each other. Yields go down, prices go up. Bonds go down, or when yields go up, prices go down. All right, and the dollar index is correlated with all of this, because in order to buy bonds, you got to use the US dollar. So when yields go up, people gravitate to buying more bonds. It strengthens the US dollar. So basically higher yield, which is higher inflation. You can correlate yields specifically with inflation. Influences all this as well. I'm going to take a little bit more off here, guys, because I think we got caught in maybe some news. Maybe not. Maybe this isn't news. Again, more strikes heard in Saudi Arabia is what the news is just now. More strikes heard in Saudi Arabia. Oil's up to 90.28. The short position is working here ahead of the opening bell. Dude, I keep coughing this morning. My nose is stopped up as well. But I think we heard strikes in Saudi Arabia is the news right now that's influencing oil up and everything else down. I think NASDAQ is getting close. Yeah. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. It's definitely probably a little bit of that. All right, we just hit lows or tapped lows of the last few hours here. Again, the scary level I'm looking at is down here at 24,460s. I think I'm just going to cut this here. We got the market on open data in 2 minutes. I am up a lot on the day already. We're up over 300 on the day already, and we're not even going to get to the opening bell. So we have a nice cushion to play with at the opening bell, guys. So we will try to trade smart today. But yeah. Dip into China oil sales. There's no demand for U.S. treasuries. U.S. bonds are being sold globally. We're in the worst bear market in bonds in U.S. history. We'll get worse. We'll see, Kitty. Look at oil, though, guys. Oil's still jumping up. The market on open data is in 1 minute. We got 1 minute. Oil jumping up to 90.5s right now. Look, oil continues to climb here. Maybe I should have held that short. Again, I'm going to ask this question again. Are y'all bullish or bearish for the opening day? Honestly, what I think it is sinuses, dude. My nose is all stopped up this morning. Every time I wake up, my nose is stopped up. I think it's acid reflux, but I don't know for sure. We will trade smart today. Not negotiable. That's right. Yeah, oil's popping. Again, this is mostly from, loud explosions heard in Saudi Arabia is the news. We got that news, what, 4 minutes ago, and that's when oil really started to jump right here. Intel. Yeah, but Intel's not down that much. Hey, thank you for the subscribe, Os. Thank you. Appreciate it. Look at that gold here. With oil going up, I'm assuming gold's falling down a little bit on this, but not a ton. Gold is actually technically red on the day. It's at 4,050 right now. So we'll see if gold holds. Let me try to get this stuff out of my throat here. Hold on. Oil reversal at the opening bell. We'll see. Gold's not really moving too much here, though. It's kind of a quiet day, all things considered. But we got the market on open data that just released. Here's the NASDAQ. So far we got a little pop-up on MOO data. But we didn't actually hold, and now we're starting to turn back down. I see Iraqi sources announced evacuation of U.S. military from Baghdad's green zone in their transfer, according to sources. So, yeah, it could be inflammation for sure. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. Let's see what we get. Again, we got flash manufacturing data at 9:45. Again, flash PMI data at 9:45. So we'll see what we get, but flash PMI data does release 15 minutes after the opening bell. Yeah, so we got flash data here. It's services and manufacturing PMI after the bell. Here's the NASDAQ still. I should have held that short here, maybe. We're priming ourselves for the opening bell in 3 minutes. What's up, Sorrel? Penny stocks are like... You might be a little delayed, Sorrel. Hit the live button, brother. Don't eat after 6 p.m., bro. If I don't eat after 6 p.m., dude, I'm going to be hungry by the time I'm like 9 o'clock, and it's hard to go to bed hungry. It's probably better for you, I recognize. But, all right, guys, NASDAQ continues to fall ahead of the opening bell. MU is still dropping here.
Look, you get used.
Yeah, go ahead, Britt. Look at MU. MU down to 965s. NASDAQ here, guys. Whoa. Look. Look at the NASDAQ dipping heavy ahead of the opening bell right now. Big selling pressure showing up. I don't know if it's the news I read earlier, but markets are starting to rotate into some stuff. Jensen Wong said, for my first post, I'm sharing a letter and video sign on why open models matter. The selling pressure happening before the opening bell. We got a minute and 40 seconds. Guys, a minute and 40 seconds. This is mostly memory pullbacks, Intel pullbacks. Whoa, look at Intel. Intel's down to 100 here, almost going red on the day right now. So look at markets. Look at MU dip before the opening bell. Look at Intel. Intel about to go red on the day potentially here. So we are starting to see some movement here right now, guys. Again, we got 1 minute left. Rotation into now in Salesforce. And the NASDAQ continuing to test lows here. We have 1 minute left. But look at Intel dip. MU dipping ahead of the bell. NASDAQ still testing that previous low level of the last few hours right here at 550s. So we will see what we get. But, man, looking a little spicy ahead of the open. A little spicy. All right, we just cracked lows, that recent low. It's not the low of the day. The low of the day is way down here. Or is it the low of the day? No, low of the day is 482s. So we're at 440s, but NASDAQ is steady falling right now. Steady falling here. We got the opening bell in 20 seconds, guys. So some rotation ahead of the opening bell. Let's see what happens here. Let me know if you're bullish or bearish. MU is down to 960s over the last few minutes. 960s. Some selling pressure. All right, there's the bell. Let's see what we get here. There's the opening bell. Again, if that was delayed, hit the live button next to the play button, put it in 2x speed, you'll catch up. But MU is falling at the opening bell, man. Look at MU. 950s right now for MU. Intel dropping as well. Look at MU right here. MU just broke lows of the day. Memory starting to fade again into this Friday here. We're at 951s right now for MU. NASDAQ is falling down. Intel is under $100 here, and the NASDAQ keeps dropping. So this is so far just the opening bell. Sometimes we can reverse ahead of this. It's not down enough to where it's like, oh no, we're not going to reverse. But yeah, Google seems to be doing okay since the bell. All right, so we're reversing back up. We're at 530s here, but it's still looking a little scary. Specifically, MU is looking scary here. Maybe markets are getting loaded into next week. Next week, we do have a lot of stuff here. Specifically next week, again, guys, we have FOMC, Bank of England, Bank of Japan rate decision, PCE inflation, GDP inflation, big tech earnings, and more next week. A crazy busy week. MU just broke lows of the day, and so with the NASDAQ is now pushing here. The scary level here, guys, is 466. This is the low of the last, or no, I'm sorry, it is 433 is the low of the last 2 months. So if we crack 433, which is really right underneath this 466 level, that's the low of the last few months. Again, Tesla just went red on the day as well. Tesla dropping. Intel is red on the day. Google's actually ripping back up a little bit. It's at 320s. But Tesla is not looking good here. Look at Tesla. Tesla down to 318s. Still dropping here. Still looking kind of sketch. Oil is back over 90 as well. Although the NASDAQ is volatile. NASDAQ might be bouncing back up a little bit here. Let's see if the NASDAQ holds. Just tap that short-term moving average right there at 553. Still dropping some. Are we in a bubble right now, guys? Are we in bubble territory? But yeah, red since the open. MU is driving it. Memory, it looks like, is what's partially driving it. MU and maybe like Tesla. IBM's actually up a little bit today. Where's Microsoft? Microsoft's down also. It's not the biggest drop yet, but again, I gotta wait another few minutes before I trade this. Yeah, where's SpaceX right now, dude? SpaceX is down too, 115s. Bouncing? Yeah, I mean, we might rebound back up. I might buy it if we do. Just be careful because sometimes choppiness is on Friday. MU bouncing back up, hit 950s. Dropped from 980s at the open, 970s, down to 950. Back up to 960s right now, so volatile. Y'all be careful. Hey, thank you for the sub, ECL. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the sub.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Gotta hang up on Brit. Brit just, I don't know what he's upset about, but he's upset about something. Alright, guys. NASDAQ is at 560s. See if we run into this, though. If we continue this downward trend, it's a little sketchy. But, yeah, Brit, I don't know what happened to Brit, bro. He's upset. This is a family-friendly stream, Brit. What the hell, dude? Come on now. You know? Angry Brit. Again, oil at 90s right now. I don't like shorting this or buying this right now, though. I gotta wait. Yeah, wholesomeness takes -10 after that. I don't know what happened to Brit, man. Yeah. Nvidia's starting to rebound back up, though, here. Look at MU, though. MU has had some swings, dude. This thing went down to 950s at the open, starting to bounce back up. It's at 960s. Again, long or short right here, guys. Long or short. MU's starting to pop back up here. It's been a little sketchy, but I always want to buy this now. What time is it? Yeah, I can trade. Okay, good. I'd look for like 200 exponential up there, like 625. We've got such a large cushion into the day here. Like I said, I'm looking for 625s up here. Hey, that my guy, Brit, is going to be fine. Get some DoorDash and work it out. Shout out to Bitcoin Bill here, man. Thanks so much for the dono, brother. Another $50 donation. Yeah, we got almost up to that 200 exponential. It's such a small trade right now, though. I don't trust it now. We tapped it. I'm worried we're going to come back down here. You got to watch memory plays as well. But shout out to Bitcoin Bill for the donos. Thank you, my guy. Appreciate it, brother. Oh, wait. I pulled up your channel here. I was going to say if you got some content, I'd you know, give you some shout outs. But thank you, brother. Appreciate it, dude. All right, so we're still up there. We hit the 200 exponential target that we were looking at. I can hold it break even now. It's not enough to really look to lock in. Yeah, my guy Bitcoin. Thanks so much. Oh, man, I looked the other way and I down on the trade here. We just turned. That was the hardest I've laughed all week. Shortest peg, nice. Yeah, SpaceX back to lows. MU turned all the way back down here. And now it went from... I should have stuck with my original exit. Remember I talked about this level right here, literally 620, 625. We went right to that spot. Man, look at this drop, dude. So again, MU's turned all the way back down. Nvidia turned all the way back down. Tesla is still moving down, red on the day again. We're starting to see a turnaround here. I'm very tempted to short this. I want to bounce. I'll short it here. We'll add more. I'm trying to take larger size today, guys, so forgive me if we take some swings today, but I guess you guys would probably like that more regardless. If we start breaking down, there we go. Take a little bit off. Might add some size back here if we get a pop. Yep. Take 5 contracts. I'm trying to scale them to some decent size. We'll leave it here, though. I'm not going to take any more than this right now. There we go. Scale out. Yeah, I would say we're up like 500 or so on the day right now. So scale out more. I'll get out the rest close to flat here if it moves back up. I still think it might go up more. PMI time, and yeah, we got flash manufacturing PMI data coming out soon, guys. So just be ready for that. Flash manufacturing PMI at 9:45. I don't know if it's gonna move markets. It might. We'll see. A lot of this is driven by tech, though. I mean, obviously, look at MU back to lows. Wait and see. I don't know how much PMI is going to move things anyway, though. All right, I took another short up here. Let's take some more off down here. Take some more off down there. I have 2 left. Nicely in these 2. We'll take 1 off. There we go. Yes, sir. All right. MU just cracked lows of the open at least. All right, we're gonna get out there. Yeah, we're up about 700 on the day right now, so that's nice. Mostly short. I haven't taken many longs today. Mostly short. I get out at the bottom of the range though, because like if MU starts to bounce, it's not beyond what it could do. MU could very easily bounce there. And again, we got 5 minutes left until flash PMI data here, guys. Let's see what Brit's got to say. All right, guys, we're still testing these lows here. We got to watch MU and NVIDIA. Tesla coming down too, about to test lows. The report drops in 5 minutes at 9:45. All right, guys, we're at 500s. Britt said he spilled coffee all over his bed. Just if anybody, if inquiring minds want to know, Britt spilled coffee all over his bed. Thus, you know, it wasn't because the market's fallen. Nasdaq just cracked lows of the open, still falling heavily here. MU testing lows of the day. Tesla testing lows of the day. NVIDIA red since the open. SpaceX testing lows of the day. It's at 114s again. AMD testing lows of the day. Intel just cracked lows of the day. It's down to 97. So tech is dumping here. I told you guys this was a possibility at the open. Look at Intel. Look at IBM is green, so software trending against this. But look at AMD just cracked lows. Look at Tesla just cracked lows. Look at MU still breaking lows at 940s right now for MU. So we're starting to see some pullbacks in chips. Yeah, I don't really see any news coming out to scare markets like this. Let me check to be sure. U.S. tech companies, U.S. faces choice on open weights with AI. Tech companies say relying only on closed AI models not inherently safe. But yeah, we're seeing tech pullbacks here, specifically chip and AI related. Apple's flying up at the opening bell, but look at MU here, which is driving some of this downward push. And remember the levels I talked about here, guys. So we talked about a few levels that we're getting awfully close to now. Okay, we're getting very close to the 2-month low. Very close to the 2-month low. If we get a good bounce, I will short this again. We're up about $700 on the day here, which is good. So we can take more risk, but we got to be careful also here. So we're up about 200 or 700 on the day. I am going to short a bounce if we get it though. Yeah, that level's at 433s. We're at 470s. I need a larger bounce here though. MU at 940s. I'm gonna short some into this now. There we go. Gotta take a piece of that off already, but I don't trust it very much. But again, this is an Apex account. Legacy accounts are back on Apex. You can use my code BGT if you want to help support the channel. I'll put the link up here again. But I appreciate the love. Thanks so much for the support, guys. We appreciate it. If you use my code, if you go to use my code, remember this face right here. You know, you got to remember this face right here. We're getting close to that low level here, though, so we could bounce a little bit and consolidate before retesting it. But this short might be a little bit more greedy than some of my other ones today. I'm gonna start to take some off. It's taking too long. We're green on the trade, but we're gonna reduce the size down all the way here. All right, I'm out. I think I got out just in time there too. Yeah, we're up over 700 on the day now. Manufacturing PMI releases in 1 minute as well, guys. 1 minute for manufacturing and services PMI data. 1 minute. Again, if you want to check out Apex, here's the link. You can help support the channel here. Code BGT will get you the max discount. There's the link right there. Check it out. What's the difference between Lucid and Apex? They got different things. Apex is generally cheaper. Lucid has like some of the best rules once you're actually funded, and specifically Lucid Flex accounts. Lucid has direct to funded as well. Apex is cheaper. I would say, you know, they're both good in different ways. Which ones do you prefer better, Lucid or Apex accounts? Based off of price and everything, let me know, chat. What do you guys think? MU starting to rebound back up. Maybe it's a good idea I got out of my short position here. But there's the PMI data. So the PMI data just showed up, guys, and it showed up at weaker than expected for manufacturing and stronger than expected for services. So kind of flat, weaker than expected for manufacturing, 53.8 versus 54.4. 53.6 versus 51.3 for services. So again, weaker manufacturing, stronger services PMI data. I don't know how deeply this is going to affect the market. But the Nasdaq's getting very close to that low of the day. Again, I'll put some of this flash data up on screen. Here's services, which was much stronger than expected, but manufacturing was weaker here. And you can kind of see the Nasdaq is testing lows again. There's services data. I'll put that up on screen first. That's services right here. But look, Nasdaq just cracked that low level again here. Again, the level I'm looking at specifically here is this 28. Let me put a 30-minute chart up. Yeah, 28,408 on the Nasdaq. Is that big low? I'm gonna put a longer term chart up here. Look at this. We're getting really close to that level though, guys. Y'all be careful. All right, we're basically down to that level. Again, it's right around 408s. Look, we're really getting close here. And again, my milestone level strategy is like looking for these big levels like this. Look at this low right here. We're basically right there. We're getting a little bounce, so let's see. It needs to be the intraday one drops. So it needs to be the intraday one, brother. The intraday one is the one that is $59. No, I'm not mad, Britt. I'm not mad at you, bro. You spill your coffee. I mean, I might curse if I did it too. You guys know me. I never curse. All right, guys. Look, we're testing this level now. I'm really tempted to short this, though, still. But the problem is I'm worried we're going to crack this level and then, like, liquidity, grab liquidity, and then move back up is what I'm worried about. AMD testing lows of the day. MU still kind of pulling back. Apple's ripping, though, and Tesla's still red on the day here. Apple is running up, though, but definitely a little red this morning. All right, so I'm going to give this a second, see if we break lows and see what happens. Look, let's call Britt and mess with him. Let's see if he heard me. Hold on. NASDAQ's still falling down. Look, it's right at that level. I don't know if it's Black Friday yet. I don't think this is I don't think this is a big enough drop to mean Black Friday yet. But AMD chips weak, Tesla weak, SpaceX weak, Apple strong. Yeah, so markets are still kind of fluctuating back and forth here. Yeah, gold, I mean, gold's doing okay. Hello, is this Pizza Hut?
This is Pizza Hut.
Okay, this is Pizza Hut. All right, good. I want 3 orders of Cinesticks, and MU to come down, or MU to rebound here. What's up, dude? Chat, I expect you guys to have my back. Everybody yell at Brit for using bad language. You know. Do it now. Do it now. Minions. You know, I expect you to stick to this. Everybody yell at Brit for using bad language. Alright, so I might short into this little bounce, though, here. Definitely a little bit riskier, but we'll take a couple. Maybe 3. And leave it here. There we go. There we go. All right, we'll take a little bit more off here. Yes, sir. Okay. We'll take a little bit more off there. Very quickly green. AMD just cracked lows. Yes, sir. Look at this. We just cracked that 2-month low. All right, I'm going to cut this right here. Nice, dude. We're up like 1,000 on the day. You love to see it, guys. You love to see it. I don't mean to celebrate shorts, but hey, definitely celebrating shorts today. MU cracked lows again, got down to 940s. Tesla cracked lows again, got down to 317, under 317s. Yeah, I mean, the shorts are the obvious direction today, really. Yeah, so NASDAQ still worse. Yeah, NASDAQ still cracking lows. Broke the 3-month low now, guys. We are effectively breaking 3-month lows on the NASDAQ here. 2-month lows, I'm sorry. We are now down to under 28,400s. We have now cracked the 2-month low, roughly. Maybe not quite the 2-month low. The 2-month low actually is right around 200s. Or no, actually, we did break the 2-month low. The next low is right around 28,200s here. We break 28,200s. It's still a ways down. I mean, that's all the way down here. But we crack that, it'll be the low of the last, like, two and a half months. Tesla just cracked lows again. Look at this drop still continuing here. Man, the bears are out here today, guys. It is bearish so far.
Well, I am sorry about cursing, but at least from what I can tell, it provided a lot of entertainment for everybody.
I'm still offended. You know, personally, you know, my heart hurt when that happened. I was like, man. Yeah, Google's doing okay. Tesla's not though. So regarding some of the recent earnings, Google's green on the day. Tesla's not. IBM is kind of green. SpaceX is not. SpaceX down to 113s again. And we're still dropping here. Look at the NASDAQ steep candle in the NQ. Yeah, very steep candle here. Get the heck out of Dodge. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a short day today. I mean, maybe we rebound back up. I'm not shorting this, though. What am I up today, guys? Yeah, look at the NASDAQ here. Eesh. Yeah, we're up $1,000 today. You'd love to see it, guys. You'd love to see it. No, this isn't any news. This is just markets. You know, this is just volatility getting unlocked. Here's what this is. Again, I told you guys, this is Intel coming back too. Like, one of the big saving graces for markets over the last few days was Intel. Intel released earnings yesterday. Did well. Had good earnings. Again, mirroring the recent trends we've seen in earnings and tech here. Look at Intel on the day. So this is partially what's driving it here. Is Intel slumping down after posting good earnings again. So we've seen this a lot lately. Intel's earnings had good guidance, but it's still falling. Tesla earnings still negatively impacting them. MU coming down. Intel coming down. SpaceX coming down. Chips in general coming down. Nvidia just started breaking down as well. Here's Nvidia. I told you guys I didn't like these market conditions for the upside, but it doesn't mean anything yet. It's still not too early to reverse, but we're down to 340s right now, guys. Look at the NQ here, dude. Look how steep this is, bro. This is scary. Yeah. Some would say this isn't good, I would say. Hello, is that Arnold from Terminator? Is that you? Are you here?
Yeah, it's totally me. Am I robotic again?
Yeah, is that Robin Williams from Bicentennial Man? Is that you right there, bro? Is that Wally?
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
NASDAQ still falling here.
Okay. Edison drinking Davy.
Somebody translate what Bridget said. We're down to 340s. Yeah, Brit, you can go ahead and get out of here if you need to, bro. I'm sorry, dude. Your internet's just not cutting it. Sorry, brother. Write a letter to Elon Musk. Tell him your Starlink subscription is not, you're just not happy with it. I'll back you up. Look at the NASDAQ, guys. Still falling here. We're at 323s right now in the NQ. Scary, scary world here. What's happening is the NASDAQ still falling. It's not too early, though. Maybe we'll bounce back. We have had volatility lately. Yeah, see, SLB says it took some temporary cost actions to alleviate the impact of Iran war in Q2, and impact on Q2 EPS was on the lower end of its previous guidance of 6 and 7 or 6 to 8 cents a share EPS. Bro, the NASDAQ is still falling here, dude. This is kind of a scary drop, and what's strange is that maybe it's from PMI data, from manufacturing being weak, services being strong. But man, I think this is just fear showing up in markets here. SpaceX is in the NASDAQ now, and SpaceX is down to 113s. Nvidia's fallen all the way down to 205s. MU is all the way down to 930s again. It's not at the 800 level it was at earlier, but Apple's still pushing up, so that's a good sign. Microsoft is down. Netflix is actually green. AMD is down a lot. So these are semis and chips. Gold's actually still green on the day and holding. Yeah, I just had to hang up with Britt. I'm going to ask this question, and I already kind of know the answer. Buy or sell right now? But NASDAQ slumping on mostly chips. Again, MU down, Nvidia down, SpaceX down, Tesla down. Yeah, so, yeah, we already got the tariff news earlier, but market was kind of, the tariffs weren't as bad as some people were worried they were, and they didn't include oil. Buy or sell right now? Buy gold, buy, no sell. ServiceNow finally catching a bid. Well, yeah, I mean, software companies tend to do better as AI and chips correct, right? They're kind of counter rotation. And so IBM is up. You know, we could look at other services companies like ServiceNow. They are green. We could look at like Adobe. They are green since the open. So software companies are one of the things that are rebounding here while chips fall. But we could also look at SK Hynix and Samsung, or SK Hynix down. We could look at MU down. And so we're seeing some bearish action here. Wait 13 minutes. Short-term buy, midterm sell. Yeah, the logic in markets right now is like company reports good guidance, good EPS, good revenue. You know, drops 5%. I've told you guys this happens with earnings, dude. This happens with earnings. Google is up, yeah, for sure. Love you. Not you, chat. I mean, I love you guys too, in a way, you know. I love you guys like, you know, a pet parakeet, you know. Do I love it? Sure. You know, am I going to spend all day with it? No, I'm not. Quote that. Gold going up at 4,066. SanDisk falling down too, man. Under 1,500s. Yeah, NASDAQ finally coming back a little bit here. It needs it too, but... Now you broke my heart. Listen. I had a pet parakeet one time. His name was Pete. It's a sad story. Rest in peace to Pete, the parakeet. Gold just ripped up here. Guys, gold just ripped up. 4,070. Was it a Dumb and Dumber situation? Nah. No. I mean, I was dumb, but it wasn't that. Yeah, gold, rip it up here, guys. Rip it up. Yeah, what happened to Pete? Sad story. A sad tale. You know, this was back when they used to leave kids by themselves at like 12, you know? And so my mom was like, yo, John, don't play with Pete while I'm gone. You know? First thing I did when she left, I brought Pete out. You know, I had a cat named Waffles, and she was like the king of the jungle in my house. You know, Waffles got Pete, unfortunately. I cried. You know, it was a sad story. Rest in peace to Pete. I learned. Listen to my mom, you know. All right, guys. Gold up there to 4,070s. NVIDIA at 206s. I'm so green on the day. I'm up like 1,000 right now. I'm up like 1,000. NVIDIA's starting to bounce back though here. So look at NVIDIA. Here's MU. We're seeing some... Is this a dead cat? Or... Man. I'm not talking about Pete anymore, guys, just to clarify. Is this a dead cat bounce? NVIDIA up to 207s. New home sales did just drop. They came in at 1.6%. They forecast 4.8% previously. 4.6% for new home sales. Yeah, I mean, this is mostly tech, right? So it makes sense why the Dow is not reacting as much as the NASDAQ here. NVIDIA bouncing back, though. Go make some toast. Got to hold 340s. Yeah, 340s is the level for sure. Young traders will buy this dip. Yeah, is this a buy the dip scenario, guys? Yes or no? Put it out there. MU down to 930s. Sympathy shock from SK Hynix is legal, probably. Yeah, if you look at SK Hynix here, it's down a lot too. Memory's starting to fade down, unfortunately. New home sales again, 628,000. They expected 607. Previous was 580. They're still down they're up 1.6%. They expected 4.8% though. Previous was down 7.3%. Nasdaq still kind of turning red though here, or more red here. Partly because MU just cracked lows again. It's down under 930s here. It's at 927s. So we're still dropping here pretty significantly, guys. Sell the fake rallies. Mark and go. Yeah, oil, I mean, Apple's still running up. Nvidia's bouncing back, but memory is what's fading right now. Oil's still falling, though, so maybe we'll see a recovery bounce. I don't know. Carlito, yeah, I mean, we already got news of that here, but we don't have any, like, breaking news on that front. Hey, bud. No, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, bud.
Can I?
Later.
11:30?
Yeah. I love you, bud.
Can I go on the 3rd floor?
Yeah, just, yeah, that's fine.
Mama keeps saying I can't.
Okay, well then wait. I love you. Alright, MU at 929s. No changes in trend until FOMC. Yeah, FOMC on Wednesday is a big story. But look at the NASDAQ here. It's still coming down. Right at those lows again at 305s. We're still dropping here. Could you hear that? You heard my son? Yeah, we got a 3rd floor here. It sounds fancier than it is, though. Like, I love telling people. My son loves telling people, oh, we got a 3rd floor, right? No, we don't have an elevator. The people we bought the house from previously renovated the attic into an office space, which my son has now turned into, like, a game room, right? So technically, we do have a 3rd floor. But it's not as cool as it sounds. It sounds cooler than it is. MU's starting to bounce back up a little bit. Apple's breaking highs of the day. Got up to 320s here. Google just turned down a little bit, though. Yeah, I told him, like, I was talking to one of my friends that hadn't seen my house yet, and he asked me, he was like, he heard my son last night do the same thing. He was like, bro, you have a 3rd floor? And I had to explain to him the same way. Like, yeah, I do. It's not like, you know, it's not that fancy, though. Alright, so I think I'm going to short this again. I think this is a risky bet, though, but we're up 1,000 on the day. I'm not going to give it all back. We'll take 2 contracts here. See if we start pushing down again. I don't like a long, obviously, under these conditions. The reason I'm doing this is because I see a stock, Google, turn all the way back down under 320s. It did just tap the 200 EMA, but there we go. Okay. Take a little piece off there. I'm gonna cut this. We're green in that trade, I'm pretty sure, but now we're just kind of flat here. I don't know what to do with this. Gold's starting to pull back. It's at 4,061s right now. So gold's still dropping here. Yeah, Jensen Wong did join X and make his first post. Again, guys, if you want the cheapest accounts, look, Apex is probably the way right now. Apex has that 100K account. Shameless plug coming in here, shameless plug. But I try to be honest and tell people like I get paid by them, and I'm biased, of course. But if you want a no activation fee, 100K account, you can get it for $59 if you use my code. $59. You just got to use coupon code BGT at checkout. You'll get the max discount. You can get a 5-pack bundle for $295, which is a pretty good deal, honestly, with the coupon code BGT. So check it out. We appreciate the love. They have end-of-day drawdowns, no payout denials, no MAE rule, no 5-1 rule, built-in scaling, 50% consistency. This is the intraday one, though. The 100K one is the intraday. So that's not EOD, that's intraday, but still. We are starting to see a little bit of a bounce back. I'll put this link up. It's a great way to help support our free content. Like, everything we do here is free. We don't charge for anything, really. So if you want to help support us and help kind of keep the stream free and show your support for the channel, I'll put the link up here. You can help support us. You can also use the code on Lucid, which has an end-of-day drawdowns and everything. There's the link right there. If you want to check out Apex, I'll pin it to the top of the chat. Do you guys trade stocks or futures? What do you guys trade? I mean, I trade futures. I assume some of you guys trade futures. But I'm assuming we also got a bunch of stock people here. Apple just broke highs again. Can y'all hear Bruce barking? Futures. Stocks, futures, futures. I trade the S&P. Stocks, futures and stocks, Nvidia. What's going on with single stock futures, bro? We're supposed to get them on Monday for single stock futures. So we're supposed to get single stock futures on Monday. Both. Stocks. Yeah, honestly, dude, I should probably make my son help my son learn to trade, because he tries to haggle with me over freaking everything, dude. You know, and I kind of let him because, you know, he'll be a good negotiator one day. He beat me in a race the other day. The stakes of the race were, if he could beat me at a race, he can get an extra 2 hours of video games that day. And I never thought it would happen. My hip hurt, guys. My hip hurt. I blame that. The next day I beat him. But this day, he won. First time ever. But again, there's negotiations that take place. He does it at chess all the time, although he doesn't beat me at chess. One day he will, though. Stocks, both. Q. Exciting. Options. Testing out futures for the first time on Lucid. Yeah, I'm excited for single stocks. I want to see what... I haven't heard many prop firms talk about it, though. Yeah, I'm up about 1,000 on the day, a little bit less than that. I'm up $940 right now. You know, here's my P&L. After fees, that is. So we've done pretty well today, mostly taking base hits all the way into it. That's my P&L on the day on this account, but... Lucid's going to do single stock futures. I would love for them to do single stock futures. I would love to be able to trade like Nvidia. I just want to say you're a great dad, willing to spend time with the kids. Many parents just let the kids play with games and not spend any time with them. I'll let my son spend time with me during games. We played Campaign Evolved, bro. Or Campaign Evolved yesterday. I was super excited because that's the game I grew up with. And I was really excited to do it. I was like, son, you're going to play the game that I grew up with. And unfortunately, my son freaking hated it. He was like, this is boring. He didn't want to watch the cutscenes. He was just bored. He likes Halo Online, though. But a rule as a parent is whatever you're into, your kids are definitely not going to be into. And this is just like an overarching rule as a parent. Whatever you like, they don't like. That's how it goes. Yeah. Gold. Pull it back here. I'm watching some stuff, though. I'm still kind of short biased here. I think the NASDAQ might turn back down and we might continue getting red today, but it's possible we rebound. Yeah, it's possible. We'll see. Bro, he doesn't have any of that stuff, dude. He doesn't have social media. He's 12, bro. Yeah, I'm looking at news. U.S. sanctions aimed at 4 people and 9 companies, including 1 in Turkey and 2 in the UAE. Again, Jensen Huang did this first post. So this is Jensen Huang's first X post. He did this just now. This is it right here. He says, in the my first post, I'm sharing a letter NVIDIA signed on why open models matter. In the 1980s, early open source pioneers challenged the prevailing belief. I'm not going to read all of it, but he just posted this. Ooh, I shorted into this move. We're starting to rebound back up, though. Here's MU. We're up to 208s. Starting to dip down here. I'll short a small bounce up, though, if we get it. There we go. I'll short that bounce. I'd really like to break $1,000 in profit on the day. I might be being greedy here, but I'd really love to break 1K. There we go. Take one off here. All right, we've done it, I think. I'm going to get out here just so I can say I broke 1,000 today. We are up $1,021 right now. $1,021. MU starting to turn down. NASDAQ starting to turn back down, but we're still in a range. Let's see if we can crack some of these recent lows. Yeah, I mean, the Boomer Index is ripping because sulfur is bouncing back up a little bit, I think, in rotation out of tech. MU lows of the day are 926.60s here. We're at 928s right now. So we're getting very close to the lows of the day on MU. It's what's driving some of this downward pressure here. SpaceX is down to 113s here. We'll break way lower. I don't know, dude. We'll see. Yeah, let's not be super political in chat. MU is about to break down, though, here. Look. Or might be about to break down here. It's about lows of the day again for MU. Just crack lows of the day. For MU, it's at 924s. Still falling. No, I mean, I'm just talking to everybody in general here. SpaceX about to break lows of the day again. MU falling, NASDAQ falling. 28 330s, getting close to these lows. $924.60s on MU. Still falling down here. Still looking a little sketchy, guys. NASDAQ is getting ready to break lows of the last few months. Again, look at this. This is partly driven by MU and memory fading back down still. SK Hynix still falling, cracking lows as well. MU cracking lows at 921s. NASDAQ is at that level. If it keeps falling, this will be a couple month lows again. Yeah, we're still falling here. SK Hynix falling down to 150s. AMD dropping as well at 520s. Where's Bitcoin at right now? Bitcoin's still falling down. It's at 63,000. Completely organic, right? No manipulation. I mean, there's always manipulation, my friend. Maybe there's more now. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I think we can tear our way out of this. Yeah, later, Tiny. Have a good day. Yeah, I've already made my money. We cracked lows in the NASDAQ, got down to 299s. We're at 318s now. I'm up over 1,000. Should I put on some scarier music? Is this too happy music? Impressive P&L in this market? No, I mean, look, it's pretty easy to click the short button today, I think. No? It's pretty easy. I don't know if I've taken a long all day. I might have. Let me look. It tells me. Titanic song. My heart will go on, guys. Listen. Yeah, listen, just for you guys. I'll put it up. You know, I can respect you guys. I'll put it up. You know, we'll throw it up there. Also, guys, if you haven't already, listen, I'm going to do some shameless plugs because I'm trying not to trade my account today. So that's what we do here. You know, we got to keep the stream running, you know, pay the bills. You know what I mean? Yeah, wait, that's my other Lucid account. Hold on, let me. I was trying to pull up Lucid's dashboard. That was my last Lucid Flex account that I destroyed, by the way. Just if you were wondering what that was. It was an eval, so don't worry too much. But Lucid's great because it has 90-10 profit split, 10-to-1 micro-scaling, end-of-day drawdowns, no hard breach rules, direct-to-funded accounts. You can go direct-to-funded for $588, plus the coupon code will bring more of this off. Lucid Pro, you can pass in 1 day. Useful for passing in 1 day. Lucid Flex, once you're actually funded, no DLL, no consistency rule. Once you're actually funded. So I prefer Lucid Flex. I think it's a much better option to learn, you know. And once you're actually funded, it's more free. You can take pretty easy payouts. There's the Lucid link if you want to help support your boy here on the channel. NASDAQ got a little strength here after breaking that low again, though. That was kind of grabbing liquidity. NASDAQ at 28,400s. I wonder if 28,400s is going to reject right here, though. Yeah, Bitcoin not looking good. Neither is MU, but things are so down on the day already. Maybe we'll start to see some type of recovery bounce, but Bitcoin is still fading here. Look, 63,716. Yeah, memory's just dumping today. All right, so Iran's foreign ministry, Arachi, says protecting the people of Iran and preserving Iran's interest in the Strait are among our principles. Iran has shown that it will not submit to American bullying and will not respond to threats. Discussions with Pakistan as a mediator regarding their initiatives and proposals. The problem is not the lack of a mediator between the U.S. and us, but rather a problematic approach of the Americans. Regarding consultations with the foreign minister of Russia, China, Pakistan, the initiatives to stop the war against Iran. As long as our goals are not achieved, it is natural that we continue our efforts. What are yields doing since the bell here? What's oil at? Oil under 90s. Yeah, Apple's been pretty solid today for sure. MU's starting to rebound back up is one of the things here. Look at MU. 933s. So. Memory taking a beating. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not doing well. Gold's starting to come back up, though. It's at 4,060s. Are y'all bullish or bearish over the weekend here? I think there's a lot of fear going into the weekend, to be honest. Especially, like, again, I think the big story for next week, obviously, next week we have the Fed meeting on Wednesday. But it's not just that. But wait, there's more. We've got the Fed meeting on Wednesday. We have tech earnings Wednesday and Thursday. So right after the Fed meeting, we got big tech earnings Wednesday and Thursday. Not only that, but on Thursday, we have GDP and PCE inflation data as well. And this is in a market that we've seen, even if companies report good earnings, we generally see negative reactions. Capex figures are still here with tech, so that'll be interesting going into Wednesday and Thursday. Yields are still up over the last 5 days. Oil's still roughly $90 a barrel. We saw IBM get slumped down in software, so software fears are here, and rotations back and forth from tech and software are still there. AI and software, I should say. Not just that, but we have potential geopolitical tensions over the weekend. A lot of people thought, we did a poll earlier asking people whether they thought we'd have more escalation, and 80% or so said yes. And again, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with any of it. I think this is a weird market where there's a lot of potential headwinds on a lot of different sides of things. I think one of the big stories, obviously, outside the Fed meeting is just regarding tech earnings. Because again, we've seen markets where we have good earnings, good guidance, beat and raise scenarios, but the stock still dumps. I mean, I think the prime example of that over the last few days is Intel. Intel had great earnings, raised guidance, went all the way up to 113s from their earnings report, and now we're where, guys? We've faded all the way back down to 97s here. So it's a scary, scary market. We'll see what happens with tech earnings next week. Hey, what's up, Femi? Yeah, Nvidia's doing okay compared to a lot of other chips. Nvidia's still sitting basically flat on the day, a little bit under it, but still. Memory absolutely taking a beating today for sure. Yeah, memory's getting absolutely slumped today, but it's starting to rebound a little bit. On what is this? What's the 29th? On Wednesday next week, we also get Samsung earnings as well, which is another story of obviously memory. So Oracle getting hit too, obviously. And again, I'm going to ask this question again. Was Burry correct, guys? What news do you think will help memory at this point? I mean, good earnings. Maybe. Maybe good earnings. But I'm going to get out of here, guys. Listen, again, if you want to help support the channel, use code BGT. You can use it on Apex. Tradeify has their select option, which lets you kind of choose your path, which is really nice. So check out Tradeify. They're one of the most legit prop firms. So Lucid as well. Lucid end-of-day drawdown options and everything. No PDT rule. If you want the cheapest accounts, again, Apex has $59 100K accounts right now. $59 100K accounts. So, yeah, you can get an Apex 100K eval for $59 right now. No activation fee. So you don't have to pay an activation fee once it's funded. I'll put that link up one more time. You can help support your boy here in the channel by checking them out. And, yeah, was Burry correct. There's the link right there. You can check Lucid out. Most of these are in the description. So if you want to help support the channel, you know, you can get the max discount on that. Take Profit as well. Take Profit's really good because it allows, like, daily withdrawals. So you can, like, build up profit, withdraw, build up profit, withdraw, build up profit, withdraw. And that's really useful. Really good for beginners as well for Take Profit. So again, you can use my code BGT on all of those. We appreciate the love. You guys have a safe weekend. Be careful right now, guys. Markets are a little sketchy. You know, I would say they're a little nerve-wracking today. Just be careful. I told you guys I don't necessarily like these conditions for markets. Yeah, heading into next week, it's a crucial week, a major week. Fed meeting, PCE, GDP, big tech, potential weekend stuff. Just be careful going into next week. Y'all be good. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Not an investment professional. Some of the links are affiliate links and all that good stuff. But later.